can see into your soul, 'cause you're just a victim of mind control. I know you're too scared to think for yourself, when you'd rather back down on someone else. You think there's someone smarter, they know what's best for you. Never get you on a lockdown, you want a lockdown. Afraid to try, afraid to be, afraid to have liberty. You want a lockdown. I said don't you try to break them up, I said just do what you're fucking told. I know deep inside your heart is black, when a heart attack, another heart attack is what you lack. For a jump start jack to your back, you could, but you can't, 'cause you want a lockdown. You want a lockdown. Afraid to try, afraid to be, afraid to have liberty. You want a lockdown. I can't see through you, see past into you. I can't see everything you own. And all you own is a place from where you've been, so I will let it fucking go. Oh, afraid to try, afraid to be, afraid to have liberty. You want a lockdown. You want a lockdown. You want a lockdown. You want a lockdown.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Happy Saturday night. Thanks for tuning in to Allegedly. We got Frantic, Missy. We're also joined by Colby. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
It's a good day for conspiracies.
It's always a good day for conspiracies. Now, Colby, you're with what is it? Conspiracy Playhouse, right?
Playtime.
Ooh, I like
Playtime.
Playhouse. It is
Playhouse, yeah,
Playtime.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, right?
Either is an acceptable answer.
Yeah, Playtime. So, just so you know, everybody tuning in as you watch this, Colby's links to all his stuff is in the description of the video as well. So, welcome in, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Tide Guy, Bet, another Colby, already tuning in. Thanks for being with us. So, what do you guys think? Any cool news stories this week, or anything to talk about that's exciting and fun, or?
Has the news been out of control or what? At least this week wasn't as bad as last week. Last week was out of control. It was so nuts. But this week, a little bit slower, but still weird. I mean, what do you think, Colby?
Frankly, I think it's been one of the most boring years to date. I mean, we're already halfway into, I guess we're almost at the end of February, and everything I'm seeing, it's just like, I have a weekly news show as well, and we're struggling to cover everything. So,
Yeah, there's not a whole lot out there. I guess we do 1 year of being in of the Ukraine war, or whatever you want to call that nonsense that's going on.
And Zelensky's still wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, he's still.
The same shirt since the beginning.
Did you see where he messed up and was walking with his body double like right behind him, and on like French TV or something like that? He had like his body double was like right behind him in the video on TV. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, he's a genius. I mean, he's a former comic, so like I feel bad like picking on our own, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, like he's not a very good actor or very good comic. I guess that's how he became, the president of Ukraine. So,
I guess so. What do you think about all that nonsense, Colby?
it's Wag the dog. It's one of those things where they're killing several birds with one stone.
They're killing several whales.
Several whales. There you go. Yeah, and I mean, Zelensky, to me, he's kind of the least intimidating world leader I've ever seen. They tried to make him like this new Churchill figure, and he's just kind of just a lame twat.
Yeah, it's not really working for him. I saw this little stat here on actually military spending, and so in 1 year, our military has spent more money on the Russia-Ukraine war than we did in 9 years in Afghanistan. Now,
Wow.
just in just 1 year, we've already spent more money than 9 years in Afghanistan. And so I found that kind of hard to take in, but it seems like it's a lot of money just floating away, and there's no accountability for it. That's where I really don't like it. That there's
our pullout game is weak.
Yeah, exactly.
Our pullout game is weak.
Exactly. Colby in the chat, the other Colby, he says, yeah, U.S. sending more money to Ukraine still a scam.
Not a scam. No way. No, it's not money laundering.
And there's a Ben Garrison. He's been putting out some kind of funny cartoons to celebrate the 1 year anniversary. But
oh, I love that. Oh my God, the kissy face. Oh wow.
Yeah,
happy anniversary, babe.
And then I saw this other meme here that I thought it was pretty funny. Was wait, not that one, but it is vinyl chloride. Gas. Wait a minute, where's the other one at? Oh, right down here. We had this one. Because it seems like, I mean, the people that are actually like supporting this way, it just seems it's ludicrous to me to think that people just have no beef at spending all this money and being somewhere that I personally don't think we need to be. But you know,
is that the juror from? Is the juror for the Trump trial? Is that who we were just looking at? Because
no, did you see that, Colby? Did you see the juror from the Trump trial in Georgia?
No, I didn't see that. I did hear a little blurb about it this morning. So what's going on there?
Good times.
Well, I guess they brought out like the main, what do they call it, the head juror or whatever it's called, who is was in charge, and in a nutshell, this is basically what she had to say. So I've actually got a little bit of the clip, courtesy of CNN, I think, something like that. We'll see.
Did you personally want to hear from the former president?
I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
Is she 14 years old?
I have no idea.
She reminds me of, she looks like one of the guys that's hanging out with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Oh, or that cop that everybody was running a train on in Tennessee.
Yes. You might have seen my Twitter post about that, folks. It's like name this girl group.
Yeah, that was pretty rough, though. I mean, she's obviously a lunatic, and it came out, I guess, it doesn't take long on the internet. They found her, what is it called, Pinterest or something like that, and it was all about like spells and witchcraft, and so apparently she's a witch as well. And yeah, it's quite the nothing to see here, folks. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's not going as well for them as they hoped. I found another couple funny. Speaking of the NPCs, I saw.
I have some bad news.
What?
You're an NPC.
What is that?
It stands for non-playable character. It means everything you do and say is safe, generic, and predictable.
Mondays, am I right?
See, I knew you were gonna say that.
But I'm not an NPC, I'm quirky.
Watch this video for me and tell me what you think.
Like, how dope would it be if in the next Batman movie, he's just Jamaican? I and I be the Batman.
That is so relatable. Unfortunately, it's even worse than I thought. You're a stage 5 NPC.
Is there anything I can do to reverse this?
I would avoid watching The Big Bang Theory for as long as possible.
What about young Sheldon?
Especially young Sheldon. I would avoid the BBTCU for a while.
Is there anything else I can do?
No.
Oh, bazinga! And that's why you gave me this vicious colonoscopy to determine all of this?
Yes, exactly.
I found it to be humorous. Maybe my sense of humor is a little off, though, but I thought it was pretty funny. So
these people, they can't help it. I don't think. I mean, what do you guys think is the common occurrence that's causing all this extra dumbness? I mean, I really do think that it's in everything. It's in the food. It's in the water. It's in the news. It's like in everything at this point. They're poisoning us and they're making our brains dumb. I mean, like, it's no surprise that people are not the brightest crayons in the box these days. I'm really not shocked.
No, we are surrounded by idiots. I would say that's pretty.
Present company included sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not excluded from that either.
What do you think is causing it, Colby?
It's years in the making, really. It started back with MK Ultra and Operation Mockingbird, and you have like that kid in that video you just played was wearing a Netflix shirt, and Sigmund Freud's nephew was William Bernays. William Bernays' nephew is one of the founders of Netflix, so it's just kind of generational. It's been adding up. Now I think we're hitting the boiling point of it.
Yeah, Bernays had a lot to do with a lot of things. I mean, I don't know if you were aware of this or not, TF, but Bernays is responsible for breakfast being a American concept meal. He made an advertising campaign to help the pork industries. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, the reason we have, got milk?
Maybe.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Breakfast was an
That
advertising campaign. Same thing with the living room. Same thing with wedding rings. There's a lot of stuff that's been grandfathered into our society that was all like advertising campaigns originally.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that about the breakfast thing. That's interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting. Yep. What's up, Mr. Duggar and Bulldog JC? LW, thanks for stopping in.
Colby, Mr. Duggar's our lawyer.
Yeah, Mr. Duggar is our lawyer. So anybody that has any grievance with anything that we say, just please direct it to Mr. Duggar Fishing.
Does he always say, as your attorney, I advise you to fill in the blank?
Yeah, it's normally shut up is the fill in the blank. That's normally where he goes with it. Hey, there is one other funny clip I found here. I'll play it, and then if y'all want, we can dive right in and you can talk about MK Ultra or whatever you'd like. But I thought this was pretty humorous. Just another one of those funny.
Nailed it.
I thought that was pretty funny. So he actually fell up the stairs again this week. So
he stole my shtick. That's my thing. I'm the one that falls up the stairs every other day, not him. That's bullshit.
Right, exactly.
It is bullshit. I don't know what happened. I guess because I'm intelligent and I happen to have a sense of humor. The universe is like, we're going to balance this out. You're allergic to stairs. So I just at least once a week, at least.
You should have put a trademark on that.
I really should. Because I really think I have the rights. I mean, I'm the one that started it. I'm the one that made it cool. Now Biden is just trying to stomp on my parade, and I'm unappreciative of it.
He's stealing your thunder.
He's stealing my shit.
So Colby, you were wanting to talk about what, MK Ultra? Is that what you? I mean, you kind of take it away, man. You are the guest here, so
and your mic is working.
And your mic's working, so you can take it in whatever direction you want, my friend.
Missy, bless your heart for figuring that out. Simply was the browser I was using, and I never even considered that. So, fuck Firefox.
I'm also allergic to technology. I mean, I'm literally technically retarded. So.
Yeah, well, not as much as me, I suppose, but basically, go for it.
Go into. I want to hear what you have to say about MK Ultra because it's also one of my favorites. So.
Yeah, when I emailed you, that's what I wanted to talk about. I meant to say Project Monarch because MK Ultra is one of those things where it's such a wide umbrella. It just, I mean, think of any project the CIA or the intelligence agencies have been doing since the 1950s. Chances are its roots stem somewhere in MK Ultra or Tavistock or both. And MK Ultra also is rooted deeply into Tavistock and Operation Paperclip. So all these fun things that they're doing to us, probably started somewhere in Europe or in a think tank in Long Island, possibly, where it was then delivered to Nazis and then brought back to us. So one of my favorite topics with MK Ultra is the LSD experiments. And we did a pretty deep dive on Bicycle Day, April 19th. Anybody who takes psychedelics knows what that day is. And we did a part one. It was almost a couple hours long, and we only got up until about 1968 when it really starts to get fun. But I think we're going to do a part two this upcoming Bicycle Day to finish it off. But one of the things that I found out is pretty much anything that we grew up with and we were entertained by, that or maybe we thought was edgy or punk rock, that's all kind of created for us to consume and as a form of mind control. Like, I think David McGowan's book, Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon. I think I read that. I read it twice now, but the first time I read it, I had to stop several times, just kind of.
It lives on my bedside table.
Is it?
Yeah, it lives there. Because I've read it at least 6 times at this point. So.
Yeah, I need to read it again. I'm due. But, if you grew up listening to The Doors, Frank Zappa, the Mamas and the Papas, Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Byrds. What you might not realize if you're new to this Laurel Canyon story is that every single one of them had either one or both parents with high up positions in the military intelligence complex.
Correct.
Or some of them even were in it themselves. Like, I don't remember which one it was. In the
Jim Morrison's father was the admiral who started the Gulf of Tonkin incident, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that one of the first admitted false flags in the United States history. And none other than George Morrison, I think he was an admiral in the Navy. Yeah, he kind of was in charge of setting that whole thing up. And, you know, Jim Morrison walks onto the scene in Laurel Canyon in the mid-'60s, claiming that he's estranged from his father. But the real deal is they were sitting on that boat, that very boat that was in the Gulf of Tonkin a couple years later. So when that whole thing's going on, his son's over there telling everybody that, you know, do drugs.
Did you also know that he had an incident where he claimed to have been in contact with UFOs that made him leave his body?
Jim said that?
Mm-hmm.
No, tell me about that.
Yeah. No, I'm still researching that one. It's like it came up recently in one of the UFO rooms in Spaces on Twitter Spaces. By the way, all my Twitter link is here next to my name. But it came up in a Twitter Spaces room about UFO activity and like you know, people getting taken. And one of the things we discussed was the fact that Jim Morrison himself claimed to have been in contact with a UFO that caused him to leave his body where it was looking down on his own body, which is a very common thing when it comes to these MK Ultra cases, right? Especially with SRA.
Yeah,
and he was the Lizard King, so you know, I mean, could be lizard people.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't plan that better, could you? I mean, unless your like was military coerced, right?
Right, exactly.
And then Colby, like it seems like that's an activity that carries on today. I mean, Britney Spears' father was high-ranking military, so was Justin Timberlake, so was Jennifer Hudson, so was like a lot of these people. Their parents are one. You were 100% correct. It still goes on.
Well, the very next generation after that Laurel Canyon scene, we had the post-rock movement, and it was the Copeland brothers. Their father, he kind of took the torch from the Laurel Canyon scene. And I mean, you know, Copeland was the drummer for the Police. His dad, same deal, had all these ties with military intelligence, but they started these record labels. One of them was called the CIA, and of course the band is called the Police. And there's one other one, I'm blanking on it, but they had one other one. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't FBI. It was something like that.
It was something, I can't remember what it is either. It's right down the top of my, like, the tip of my tongue, too. I'll think of it later when it doesn't matter.
Exactly. As soon as we hang up, it'll come to us.
So that's why Columbia House was able to just give us all those free cassette tapes back in the 80s for nothing.
MG, and yeah, but you have to remember, yeah.
That was your little taste.
Right.
Yeah.
You owe us 7 cents.
The first one's free.
But I'm 14.
The first one costs a penny, and your neighbor's going to pay for it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're 100%. I mean, and you're right about the punk rock movement being infiltrated as well. I mean, like, look at what happened to Fat Mike. I don't know if anybody here is a NoFX fan. Huge NoFX fan. Like, it was one of the few bands that I listened to, like, religiously. It was one of the tapes I had for my car. So I wore it out. So long, thanks for all the shoes. Just wore it out. And I look at Fat Mike now and I'm like, oh my God, like I know he does drugs, but he's always looked unhealthy. Now he's got like this greasy sheen of like insanity over him. He looks like he's nuts now. Oh, nice hoghead. Colby, what about Courtney Love?
You're reading my mind. This is where I'm going next. So at the same time that you have the Laurel Canyon scene, you have the acid tests going on in the Bay Area, where you had free sex clinics run by Jolly West, who was
in a place they called The Hate, by the way, y'all. The Hate is what they called it. Like literally, like The Hate. Really?
Yeah. So Courtney Love's father, Hank Harrison, he was the manager of, I don't remember what they were called at the time. Was it the Warlocks? But they switched.
It was the Grateful Dead too.
They switched their name to the Grateful Dead.
Right.
But I think it was the Warlocks.
Correct.
Yes, you're right.
Like that. And then when they switched, that's when the CIA came in with all their acid tests. And basically, when you watch the Grateful Dead tour across America, what you're seeing is the distribution of LSD to rich white kids. And from there on out, it was just everywhere. But to skip ahead, Courtney Love herself, she was very much a Project Monarch subject. She was sexually abused from like the age of 3 onward. She became a sex slave to the Japanese mafia. She ended up in Liverpool, and she ended up spreading LSD through the scene in Liverpool, reconnected with her dad.
And then she switched to heroin.
Switched to heroin, came to Portland, Oregon, moved up to Seattle. We all know the rest of the story after that. She hooked up with Billy Corgan and then moved on to Kurt Cobain.
Well, Billy Corgan introduced her to Kurt Cobain, actually, and Billy Corgan went on to write all of her songs.
Of course. You're the one who told me that. I didn't know
That's
that.
right. Because back in the day, we used to have liner notes. I know that these kids these days, they don't know what liner notes are. But basically, when you buy a physical copy of an album, it will come with artwork and lyrics and stuff on the inside. And you could actually read the lyrics correctly and look at the liner notes. Who wrote it? Who wrote what? And it would say at the top of the song lyrics, who wrote that song. And it was Billy Corgan. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because I had that CD, that first one she put out, the Doll Parts one.
So what do you think of him? You think he's part of it?
Look at the man. He looks like he right. Have you seen his Joe Rogan interview?
I listened to it. Yeah. Well,
he's a little bit of, speaking of punk rock bands that have been infiltrated, he's a little bit of like Tom from Blink 182, you know? He's got that same like scared, I might buy a wrestling company any day now. I hung out with Courtney Love for years, like eyes thing, you know? So yeah, LW, that was a really good. What did you think about that one, Colby?
I've yet to watch it. I've heard it's
I haven't seen it yet either. So
we should have a watch party sometime.
I'm going to write that down because I haven't seen that. Thank you, LW.
Does that implicate Love in his death? That documentary?
I mean, how could it not?
Well, you know, there's 2 trains of thought on that, and from what I understand, she most likely got the guitarist from Hole to do the dirty work for her, and also murdered her own bass player to cover it up.
Not Hole. It was what was the band? Oh, this guy was like, he was particularly bad news, and I knew this because I was in the punk rock scene like at the time. Like I just like started listening to punk rock. Oh my God, what was it's gonna drive me nuts. Big ugly looking dude. Dead now, of course. They all are. But I'll think of it, of course, after we get done here. I don't have my Courtney Love. I didn't know we were going to be doing the Courtney Love thing. I got notes here somewhere.
She's getting out the notes. Getting out the flashcards. Here we go.
Courtney Love's attached
to one of these
things. Didn't she at one point, Missy, you might know this. I just heard this week because I've been researching Project Monarch and going deep dives into Disney. And at one point, I do believe that Courtney Love accused Jamie Spears of raping her. Did you hear that one?
Oh, no.
I have not heard that one.
Well, she did it on Facebook as well. So, you know, in the court of public opinion.
So yeah, what is this? She sold a slightly used toe trigger on eBay.
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Members, is that what the name of the band? Oh my God, it's gonna drive me crazy.
A slightly used toe trigger. That's funny.
Yeah, basically, like when it came down to the criminality of the case, when it came down to the evidence in the case, like he had to have the shotgun like 1.5 feet past his head for that to humanly have worked. Right. There's a lot of weird
after
stuff.
Doing 3 times the lethal amount of heroin.
Yeah, exactly. And the person who did the autopsy, it was just like his first autopsy. Right?
It's probably the same guy that did Epstein's.
Oh, probably. Turns into a toe tag real quick instead of a trigger. I'm telling you what. Like these people are so deep and it's so interconnected that it's one of those like those rabbit holes you never reach the end of, especially when it comes to celebrities. People always ask me like, why do you care about celebrities and music? Like, why do you care? Like, because I think it's important, because I think this is the thing that they don't count us looking for. They expect people that are stupid to be interested in these things. And if people that have any intelligence at all start looking into it, you just like you, Colby, you start finding all these little things that connect it. You're like, I can connect it. Like, talk about 6 degrees, Kevin 7 bacon. Hear my brain. 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. There was a cover band called Seven Bacon when I was a kid. It's 60 Reasons to Kevin Bacon. This is totally an example of how you can take someone as simple and like as non, as people considered to be a stupid person before she ever put an album out, Courtney Love, and you go, oh my God, it goes so deep. And then on top of that, we can relate it to the Unabomber in like 2 steps. It's like boom, boom, Unabomber. And people don't realize that. And look at us like we're nuts, right, Colby?
Well, I'm used to that. I only have an audience of one wherever I go, and it's usually me. So
that is a very dirty statement. We're trying to keep it clean here on the show.
Yeah, well, we try to do a lot of things. We try. What's up, Belt Loop? Thanks for stopping in, man. Slim Shady Canes as well. Appreciate you being here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your notes there,
keep rolling, Colby.
There's not really any linear way to talk about all this, but I did kind of want to work Disney into this because I've always known there's some shadiness with Disney, but this last week I've really been diving into that and the whole history of the organization that kind of now just runs the world. They really are one of those umbrella companies that, I mean, for fuck's sake, they own Vice now. We all used to love Vice News.
We saw that coming, though.
What's that?
I mean, everybody saw that one coming, though, right?
I did hold on to hope that they would stay what they were because we kind of needed something like that. It was the only like alternative media that got mainstream status. But as soon as
it was Gavin McInnes that started it.
Gavin McInnes and what's his name? Shane Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of were polar opposites politically. They kind of kept the whole thing in balance, which was a really good idea. You don't see a lot of that.
No,
I'm a huge fan of Gavin McInnes. I don't care what anybody says. I think that he is one of the funniest, most original, like brave. Like I think he's a very brave man because he says exactly what he thinks and he doesn't care what anybody thinks about him. And I mean, that alone is one of the reasons that I'm just like floored by him. So, but he started Vice and he started it like, and they took it away from him. They took it away from him just like they took, everything from everyone at that point. That's what journalists do. They own 90% of the media for a reason. They want to black out the truth, and we let them. We let them do it.
Yep. So yeah, when we talk about these mind control things, and we get back into MK Ultra, to me, Disney is just a great example of how MK Ultra just isn't done to like Ted Kaczynski and Courtney Love and these musicians that we knew from Laurel Canyon. It's done to us, and on a very personal level, because what child do you know who hasn't seen every Disney movie, who doesn't grow up watching these movies? And
what adult movies,
yeah. I was talking to my mom earlier, and like I have friends that still watch Disney movies pretty religiously, and I mean, we're in our 40s now, and people are watching Disney still. And
the Disney,
if you think about it, there was so much trauma in these Disney films. And I mean, how many of these storylines really needed to have the death of a parent or kids growing up without parents, as if this was a normal occurrence?
It's kind of like they wanted a single parent family so that they could have access to the children.
Exactly. William Casey, who was with the OSS before the CIA started in 1947, he moved over there. But he's the one who helped Disney kind of get that Florida deal where they have sovereignty in that little chunk of land there. I mean, you're in Florida, right, TF?
No, I'm from there. I'm currently not there.
Florida.
Yeah, we go back and forth down there quite a bit. So
okay. So have you been to Disney World?
I have not been to Disney World. I've been to Disney World 9 times, but I haven't been there in 32 years. So,
ooh, I think you're going to say 33.
We had a pass.
33.
So
well, it'll be 33. It'll be 33 in about a week. So,
nice.
Did you say 33?
I said I was going to say 33.
Drink, everybody drink. 33.
Hey, no problem.
We had a pass. My son and I, we bought the Disney pass, and so we went. God, we've been like at least like 12 times since he's little, because it was one of the only places I could take him for a vacation where everything's easy. It's easy. I don't have to worry. I mean, I know about all the Disney stuff. I'm aware of what they're up to. But like when they're little like that, and I'm the one like driving, the cart, and I'm the one that explains to them how things work, and we talk the whole time. It's also an excellent way to like educate my child on how people want to come after him. you know?
If you survive Disney World, you're going to make it.
Oh, it was really fun. It was a really fun thing to do with my child. But again, there was always that, okay, now we're looking at this. This is what's really going on here. See, look at this. This is a great example of how people can fool you. Look at the buildings. Look how, like, I used it as an educational tool for my child when he was just a little guy, you know?
I mean, I loved going as a kid, you know. I mean, it was obviously a really fun place to go, and you know, I have a lot of great memories there. But that company really has it's taken some funny turns. So.
It's the CIA calling.
Yeah, exactly. You hear a helicopter over your house as well. So
it's another.
We need to get some tinfoil hat merch going out, I think. So.
100%. I can make some in my kitchen and sell them for $10. I will make you your own individual tinfoil hat that you'll have to unfluff when it gets to your house.
There's a guy in the town I work that sells like lead-lined beanies. It's the whole, 5G thing. And I mean,
wow.
He actually does sell quite a few of them.
Lead
I remember his name. He's kind of big in the community. He's a chemtrail guy. But,
okay.
Yeah.
One of the chemtrail people.
Well, I mean, for me, chemtrails that's one of the few things I can never make sense of. Not just because I have knowledge about aviation and all, because my father was he had his pilot's license. One eye, full pilot's license, by the way.
So my dad thought the Earth was flat then. He had one eye.
Yep. Yeah, he cheated on his eye exam. He memorized it. And then when he went in and failed the eye exam, he goes, "I'm sorry, gotta go get new contacts." Right? My dad comes back and he can't look at he's like, I don't know if you guys can see my eyes. He's literally you can't tell who he's looking at. When we were kids, he'd get mad and yell, and we just knew where he was pointing, who he's mad at, because you couldn't tell by his eyes at all. Because one's over here and one's looking right at you. You're like, "Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?" But my dad, he was a pilot, so he did that for fun, single engine planes and stuff. So when I was a kid, we'd go up and he would explain to me then about chemtrails or contrails, right? So as an adult, I have a really hard time believing that it's chemical sprayed in the sky, because it also is going to get everybody. If it's chemical sprayed in the sky, it's going to get everybody, lizard people included. They're not immune to cancer like the rest of us. They might be immune to not living forever in that body, but they're going to be poison as well. That doesn't it never made any sense to me.
I had a nut job. He came. I mean, this guy was obviously a lunatic, and he came up to me. This was about a year ago. I was pumping gas. I'm right outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and this guy comes up to me and starts giving me pamphlets, and he gave me a CD, which I wish I could find, because it was the worst presentation that you could have ever possibly made that he had done. And he gives me a CD, and his whole thing was about chemtrails. And he gave me pamphlets, and this is just some random person that just walked up to me and gave me that. I have to try to find that CD. I could try to play it if I could find it, because it was absolutely hilarious. It was the worst editing, the worst, anything you could possibly imagine. It was the worst
Jamaican artists. Jamaican,
exactly.
When Jamaicans walk to the beach, they try to sell you CDs for their Jamaican group. And it's just are you kidding me right now? And then they offer you weed, and I'm like, I don't want your weed. Trust me, I don't want your dirt weed. Or your CD. Here's $5. Just take it.
Right. Here's the $5. Thank you very much.
Colby, I didn't mean to interrupt your diatribe there, buddy.
You didn't.
I know you've been researching this like crazy.
It was all kind of just a bunch of loose stuff. I figured this conversation would go where it's going to go, but I do want to tell, at the end of it, I want to wrap it up and tell TF who I think delivered the kill shot to JFK. So,
I want to hear. I want to hear all about this. So
yeah, so it all kind of leads into CIA programmed assassins.
Before you go into it, did you see where Alex Stein and Gavin McInnes were interviewing people and trying to tell them that JFK shot himself, like he was one of Hillary Clinton's victims?
This was Alex Stein?
Yeah. It was I think it was 3 weeks ago or something. He put out a YouTube video. Yeah, I think it was. He was with Gavin McInnes, and they were stopping people on the street and telling them that JFK killed himself. Hillary Clinton.
Let me ask you this: Did you send the link to anybody else? Are we expecting anybody else?
I think I forwarded the wrong one. I'm trying to send my sister the YouTube channel. What's it say on it?
Okay. it says, well, I don't want to say her name, but it starts with a TH.
Yeah, don't let her in.
Okay.
I totally meant to send the YouTube link, and I just
Is it your sister?
saying,
It's your sister. Yeah. Hang on.
She's the one who called.
Let's pause. Let's take a 5. We got to let her in for like 5 minutes. Cool.
No, she will. Right? She's pretty shy. She won't.
No, she's not here anymore. She was in the back room though.
Yeah.
Oh, she probably hit the button and thought it was the YouTube link, huh?
That's why I just told her don't do that. Oh, she just said, well, that was awkward.
Well, she does have a nice ceiling fan. She has a nice ceiling fan. That's all. It was like all I could see was this fan spinning above, like on the screen. I'm like,
we have fans finally. We've got fans. Just not the kind we were expecting.
Yeah, we got fans, exactly. Nice ceiling fans. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, make sure everybody do please smash that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciated. It helps the algorithm spread this video out. So I appreciate that, Joey. And thanks for being here, Joey.
Did Joey
I'm looking forward to your sister's YouTube, Colby.
What's that? Oh yeah. Joey came on last week, right? He called in.
Yeah. Joey called in. And
I
if
really wanted to follow you guys over to that other one, but since my mic wasn't working, I just said fuck it.
Well, we figured it out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. You sound good, man.
You guys
and I've actually gone into sometimes it's pretty bad. And I've actually gone, and when you get it figured out, what I'm gonna do is go into your mic settings and just adjust you better to. There you go. Now talk. Let's see if you.
All right, how am I sounding?
Yeah, good. I just turned you up a little bit, made you a little bit louder.
Yeah, this thing, it's weird. If I have it on default settings, it does all sorts of weird shit. So I probably needed to, after I switched over to Chrome, probably had to do some other stuff. But
yeah, well, you're coming in clear now, so that's good. That's good. So yeah, man, go on with your stuff there. I don't want to.
We hit Ultra at all? I mean, we didn't even get into the Unabomber or anything else.
Well, yeah, if you want to start talking about some of the subjects, some particular subjects, I would say Kaczynski is one of the most famous. And what did he get into Harvard at like 16, I believe?
Correct.
And he was in an MK Ultra program at Harvard from 1959 to 1962, somewhere in that ballpark.
So let me stop you right there for 2 seconds. Explain to the audience kind of what MK Ultra. Maybe some of these people don't have any idea. Like we're all obviously rabbit hole people. Some of these people might not know anything about. When you say MK Ultra, they might be, what the hell is MK Ultra? So,
well, MK is an abbreviation that is derived from German, and it's basically mind control. I think Ultra had something to do with the clearance level, and it was started by a guy named Sidney Gottlieb, and he was basically an expert in poisons and toxins and drugs, and he's the one who saw these studies that the Nazis and other nefarious groups had been doing with LSD after it had made its way from like intellectuals into the military. And he kind of just wanted to start, experimenting with it, and not just on a small level. I mean, there was a time at the beginning of MK Ultra where if you were at a CIA party, you might have your drink spiked with LSD. I mean,
not the CIA.
And
it's so wholesome.
Yeah, it would have been a crazy time to be a part of the CIA. I mean, it was just a free for all. And one famous operation was called Midnight Climax, and that was in California. This is where they had a guy, George White. He was kind of a contractor. He worked with the CIA from time to time, and they let him set up a little observatory next to a safe house room where hookers would bring back unsuspecting Johns. They would spike these guys' drinks and just try to get them to spill their guts after climax, so hence the name. And this was one of the ones that came to the forefront in the mid-'70s when the Church Committee brought this to these hearings, and Ted Kennedy got his 15 minutes of fame being the good guy, and they're like, shame on you for doing this to the public. Frank Olson, he was a scientist that was employed by the CIA. He's the guy that ended up falling to his death. They did say he jumped. It's kind of debated to this day whether he was thrown out, but he was dosed at a little retreat, and he was never the same after that. So this is kind of where they started to see, like, okay, you know, this thing, first they wanted a truth serum, then they wanted a drug that would make people not be able to tell the truth. I mean, anybody who's taken acid, all of those are possibilities. And by the time that the mid 70s rolled around, they kind of just pretended to shut the whole thing down. But it's very obvious that they kept it going. They probably changed the name of it, changed the transparency level of it. And to get back to Ted Kaczynski, some of the breeding grounds for these experiments were psych wards, prisons, and colleges. And that's where Harvard comes in. And that's when you get Ted Kaczynski. They would dose him and then, you know, break him down psychologically. But he was kind of messed up from the get-go anyway. When he was an infant, he had some kind of rare disease, and he was not allowed to be touched for, like, I don't know, it was weeks.
Well, that'll mess you up.
Yeah, so this is when he was weird. A baby. So, you know, he was already probably pretty paranoid, just freakishly smart. Then he gets dosed on these experiments, which he did sign up for, but he didn't know what he was getting into. And I mean, the rest is history with him. Kind of had a grudge, I think, after that. Right. So, I mean, Ted Kaczynski's a notable one. I do believe that Whitey Bulger was also experimented on when he was in prison. So those are a couple. What I do know, as far as like just giving it to the public, they haven't really ever been forthcoming on like how that was all a thing. Like with the electric Kool-Aid acid tests that Tom Wolfe wrote, CIA was balls deep into that. Tim Leary, he admitted in the 80s that he was a CIA asset. Ken Kesey as well. He was a MK Ultra subject, later turned CIA asset. I mean, any hippies watching, it's enough to break your heart when you find out about, you know, Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters and the Grateful Dead being CIA assets and kind of just subverting culture in a way that this country still hasn't recovered from, really. And it kind of, you know, like everything, it's always blowback. There was good things that came out of this. I mean, I enjoy the occasional psychedelic trip. I'm not a huge fan of LSD, but you know.
Yeah. Mr. Duggar just texted me and told me to plead the fifth. So thank you, my lawyer.
Well,
I know nothing.
Tell Duggar I'm not on anything right now other than good old alcohol. And marijuana is legal in my state.
Yeah. I wish you could pass that mason jar right over here.
I wish I could too. We need the technology.
Yeah, we live it. We really do. Like, people have just completely, it's a shame. Everybody should know this. Everyone should know everything we just discussed, you know, and I don't understand why people have no interest in this or why they want to say like it's kooky when they haven't done any research. I watched a video this week that like really changed my mind. I think his name was like Penguins or whatever. He's like a gamer Twitch guy or something, but he's got like millions of people that follow him. Like, I think it's like 4 million followers, something like that, 5 million followers, something crazy. And he was digging into Tartaria. Someone said in like a super chat, go look at Tartaria. So he went and he looked at Tartaria and he's like, an hour? Why can't they give me a video that's like 5 minutes and just sum it up, bro? And I'm sitting there going, you sit there and play video games 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, do 24-hour marathons for money to play video games. And you can't take an hour to put on in the background, you know, something to listen to? Really? 1 hour? And 5 million people are following this dude. It's like, at that point, I mean, what do you do? I really do believe that, you know, I hope that, you know, we become successful for TF, not for myself necessarily, for on his part, because he deserves it. All right. At the end of the day, like, I really do wonder if anybody's ever going to like hear me speak in large audiences ever, because the stuff I discuss, like, no one wants to hear what I have to talk about, you know. It worries me sometimes.
Well, there's always people out there that want to hear it, but a lot of people, they just, especially with like in the age of TikTok and, you know, now they're pushing shorts and so much stuff like that, that people just want this information, they just want to see the surface, and then they're like, they're happy with that and they can move along. They don't want to deep dive in anything, which, you know, can be at sometimes, slightly boring, but you got to go through that to get to the truth. So, that's
Bulldog JC, you're talking about the Russian sleep experiment. That's actually not true. It's totally a story. And here's how you know it's a story. They make a lot of mistakes in the telling of the story. Different there's actually a whole, I think it's called Be Amazed, or someone does a video on this about the Russian sleep study on YouTube. Go check that out, and it's going to explain to you like how this is not humanly possible. Like they never did this. This is not a thing. And if it did happen, and it was a limited hangout, and they gave us like just basic details to like try and tell us like what happened, but not really tell us the whole details of it. There's no guarantee we're ever going to find the truth out, but it's largely suggested that was a story.
Didn't the Y-Files cover that one?
Yeah, I don't know if they did or not. I haven't seen that one yet.
I think so. I think one of their early videos might have been on that. So it might be worth checking out. Bulldog JC, that might be the place to check out. The Y-Files. I'm pretty sure that he did a video on that.
The best one though is the one that BMA's did, because I did see that one, and he goes into detail. Someone just texted me and told me to stop playing with my hair. Ignore. It's a thing I do, y'all. Play with my hair.
It's a nervous.
One of my friends was like, "You're playing with your hair."
All right, Colby. So let's
So yeah, that's a great explanation though. Like going into MK Ultra, like it's one of those things that is a back of a million beasts, or a beast of a million backs, or however it's called. It is the Hydra, because every time you think that you're gonna like find out something, you find out something else. It's just a never-ending rabbit hole when it comes to MK Ultra. Don't you agree? We could probably talk about that for hours.
You could, and you also got to take into account that, like, if you're one of those people who has to see the documents, a lot of this stuff is just witness testimony, because whenever they redact this kind of shit, declassify a lot of this shit, large chunks are redacted, and sometimes entire pages are just black blocks. Like I keep bringing up Monarch, and when they did declassify MK Ultra, they never really talked about. There was 149 side projects that are linked to MK Ultra. Monarch is one of the most famous ones, but it was never mentioned in these declassified files. But thanks to people like Kathy O'Brien and Missy, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but I've been reading a lot of her testimony this week about what she went through as basically a beta sex slave, which is one section of the Monarch program.
Correct.
And that's when you'll see like a lot of these Disney stars, Bella Thorne.
Yeah, she's got a pretty interesting like outtake on what she went through. Also, I mean, there's the Nickelodeon side of things too, where you've got Dan Schneider and his feet weird shit, and then you got out of that you got Ariana Grande, who dated Pete Davidson during the Manchester mass shooting. Who Pete Davidson went on to date Kim Kardashian, who was actually dating Kim Kardashian at the time of the Travis Scott incident that is the Astroworld mass shooting. Same companies, by the way, Live Aid, all these different production companies, security companies, they're all exactly the same as Manchester, right? So all these families are connected. So yeah, I mean, exactly. Rabbit holes everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Monarch to me is one of those ones that is basically a lot of it's hearsay, but when you start observing the behavior of these child stars of Disney and Nickelodeon, to me, the one that blew my mind that I just found out about is Thora Birch, the Hocus Pocus girl. Both her parents were porn stars, and
don't forget she was in that movie with Kevin Spacey.
That was just going to talk about that. She was 16 years old when that was shot. She has a topless scene, and her parents had to sign off on that.
Correct.
So she's one of those ones.
69 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they're just.
Her parents were a porn star, signed off on that for her, by the way.
Yeah, they were both in Deep Throat, both her parents. So, but it's more interesting to get into the assassination side of things to me, like these beta sex kittens, Britney Spears, and all that. Their flavor of the week right now. You can find lots of videos on those. But if you start looking at like Jack Ruby, who shot Lee Harvey Oswald, and you start looking,
mafioso.
Yeah, Sirhan, Bobby Kennedy assassin. If you look at Mark David Chapman, who shot Lennon, they all said the same thing. that they didn't feel like themselves at the time of the crime. They don't deny doing it. I mean, Mark David Chapman sat down and started reading A Catcher in the Rye until the police showed up. And
which is a horrible book.
It's got a great ending.
I mean, I just want to smack the kid. You know, it's like he's this whiny brat that just, oh my God, I hated that book.
Yeah, I don't really remember it. I just remember he offs himself in the end.
Yeah, it was just, it's like the whiny rich, you know, the kid that goes, everything's bad, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just.
Do I need to pull out the tiny violin? I will pull out the tiny. Do I need to pull it out?
You got it?
Of course. I have a tiny violin.
I know. You whipped it out.
It comes in a tiny violin case. Like it's got tiny guns in it, but it doesn't. It's actually a little tiny violin.
But one thing that's
I got drunk and lost the bow.
What's it worse than? If you don't have a bow, you can't play it.
Yeah, it's a mandolin. It's a mandolin now. It's a 4-stringed mandolin now. So
no, now it's a fiddle. Yeah, you're right. I mean, do you know? Actually, are you aware? Did I talk to you about the Gertrude Legandry OSS, Bakar Legandry whole shenanigans thing yet, Colby?
No.
You ever gotten into that? I'll make a note to next time I come on your show to discuss that stuff with you. But Gertrude Legandry, I did a bunch of detailed, like deep dives on a local plantation called Medway Plantation that actually had the Medway Institute, which was David Rockefeller, Linda Rothschild, and Bakar Legandry trying to summon aliens, right? In like Mount Holly, South Carolina, right? And Gertrude Legandry was Bakar Legandry's mother. She's the only woman who was ever arrested by the Nazis. Don't worry, she got free. She ran over the Swiss border holding her passport in the air. And the 2 Germans that got her off, or that helped her escape or whatever, and were kind to her, she got introduced to America as part of Project Paperclip. Well, Bakar Legandry is the only person. All the videos, all the photographs, everything you see of RFK's murder in that hotel kitchen, those are all Bakar Legandry stuff. She's the only person who had film and video released from that.
That's
and then she would go summon UFOs and draw human hearts, as someone does.
Is she friends with Stephen Greer?
I do not know. She's dead. She died in 2016, I think.
Okay.
Just in time for me to like find out all these people that I think she murdered. She's dead. I'm like, damn it. There's no victim. There's only victims. All the victims are dead, and there's no person you push it on. I know exactly how anybody who gets upset about Epstein feels about Ghislaine, pronounced Ghislaine. Ghislaine, and her submarine license. I know exactly how people feel, because in this case, like, the person's dead and there's nothing I can do to like break, because there's all these people I found out her and her mother have ritualistically murdered, and there's nothing I can do. Everybody.
So was she the woman in the polka dot dress?
Very well could be. I would not be the least bit surprised. What do you think happened to the babushka lady in the JFK situation?
What happened to her?
What happened to the babushka lady?
I don't know.
She just disappeared?
Or was she ever even really a thing?
Could be.
I mean, there's so many fires and so much smoke around the JFK assassination. It's one I try not to touch usually, even though I think I know who gave the kill shot.
Hey, and I'm dying to hear this. I'm still waiting.
That'll be the cherry on the cake.
Right, exactly. You've like been teasing me with this. I know. Like hanging this.
I think last time I was watching you guys live, I commented, if you ever want to talk JFK, have me on. I've got a crazy theory.
Well, please go. I don't mean to interrupt. I've got questions.
Wait 2 seconds. Wait 2 seconds. I got to turn this. It's getting really cold in here. I'm going to turn this heater on real fast because
I'll say it while you're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Right as I come back, that'll be that. But I'll be back in like 1 minute. Let me just kick this heater on. I'll keep it running.
Yeah, Colby. Like, there's a lot. He's probably going to go pee in the backyard.
You should just go pee right there. I can't see below his waist.
Right, nobody cares.
That's what NYT does.
Right. Like he's in LA or something. Like he knows what cold is.
Right? Is he in my neck of the woods?
No, he's in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta. Gotcha. Well, not in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, like that part of Georgia. But yeah, there's all these alphabet agencies that are connected to this crazy JFK thing. Have you seen that documentary about how George Bush did it?
Yeah, and The funny thing about George Bush is he's, other than Jolly West, he's like the Forrest Gump of CIA operations. He really
He
is
just
attached to
stumbles.
everything.
Yeah, he stumbles into it, and he's like, oh, I was at Bohemian Grove, but only for a minute, brah.
Yep. But yeah, I wanted to tie in all those assassins I just named together, because if you look at Jack Ruby, Sirhan, they were both associated, as was Charles Manson, with this psychiatrist, Jolly West. He's the guy who also debriefed everybody who witnessed the Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, this guy's fucking everywhere.
You know how I feel about that?
I do know how you feel about that.
I mean, yes. I say to people all the time, if anybody hasn't heard me say this before, and you'll probably hear me say it a million more times, so sorry if I repeat myself, but Charlie Manson didn't actually kill anybody.
And I don't believe that his family really did either. I think that they were involved in it, most definitely, but
the murder scene almost exactly matches up to all these sacred druidic rituals that I found. Mm-hmm. It's creepy because they used to they used to sacrifice pregnant women in these sacred druidic rituals. Yeah. Yes. And remember Hollywood? There was no holly trees there. It's really strange they called it that, but it was the material used to make these sacred druidic wands. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about magic, right?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I mean, how much of it is real and how much of it is what they think it is. It doesn't matter, because if they think it's real, you know, they're going to push it on us whether we realize it or not. Like people think that this stuff the CIA and the OSS and all these other organizations have done, all these alphabet agencies, no matter, just pick any one of them, they think that this stuff is all new. It's not. These same like mind control exercises have been going on for, you know, millennia.
Well, they were secret societies before they were intelligence agencies. I mean, they just kind of gave themselves authority.
The concept of symbolism, like, is basically waterboarding us quietly with symbolism, like pushing stuff that we don't even realize is a thing. When we see stuff subconsciously, that's been going on since the Catholic Church was originated with their iconography. You know, that was going on with different other cults during the Roman and Grecian times. So the concept of like this symbolic like stuff going on is new, or that they would like secretly try to like convince us of things without being very overt, or as I would say, you know, esoteric about it. It's so interesting because like people think this is like the last, it's been since World War II. No. This has been going on since the beginning of time, that they've been like sinking symbolism into everything. And when you go back and you look at things like the pyramids, when you go back and look at things like Göbekli Tepe, when you go back and look at things like, you know, the Sumerian temples and stuff that ISIS supposedly like got rid of, right? That they destroyed. When you look at like the lions that are on display in the British Museum that are from Sumeria, right? The gates. Like when you see stuff like that, it all starts to make sense, and you go, oh, they've always been like putting symbolism and hints into everything. It's not really new. This is not a new thing. They just figured out, due to the Nazi scientists who went on, you know, treks all over the world to go research these things, right? They understood at that point that these things work and that civilizations have been doing it forever, and why not try it on our own people? And they've been doing it ever since.
Yep.
They weaponized it. They weaponized history against us. That's why it's so important that we know it, right, Colby?
I mean, you know, I don't really believe in conventional history anymore.
Me either.
I mean, it's hard to at this point.
Yeah, what do you think about it, TF? Is it like you think your run-of-the-mill average high school history curriculum is what percentage of truth is it?
Oh, I mean, I honestly think that 90% of what everybody's been taught is probably wrong. You know, at this point, everything I go back and look at, I mean, of course, there's some things that are factually true that, you know, you can't discard everything, but every day you learn new things. You know, they're finding civilizations that are older than, you know, what they say. They've based everything on carbon dating that we know doesn't work. You know, everything you look at is, and I don't know why, but scientists are so afraid to be wrong and admit that there's other things out there that, hey, we need to start looking into more things, more options, because, I mean, I buy into the theory that there has been civilizations that are older than what we know now and what we've been taught and what, you know, that's where I stand on it. So, yeah, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. I think they teach you what, it's like with any war or anything like that, whoever wins is the person writing the history books. Every different thing. And I've had I've traveled and done stuff. So I've heard like things from other people's point of views. And it's so different. Like even my wife, she had never even heard of the Holocaust until recently. Like she had no idea.
They had their own Holocaust over there with the Japanese.
Yeah, right. I mean, because their history in Asia was all taught, from World War II and all that. It was all about the war in the Pacific, not the war in Europe. So, and it's not like she's uneducated or anything like that. I mean, she, college speaks 8 languages and had never heard of the Holocaust.
By the way, folks, that's one more than Melania.
yeah, exactly. But, and I found that fascinating, and hearing the stories of, from other people's perspectives it's interesting. And the history we're taught doesn't match the history of what they're taught. So, I mean, that's just a little example, but you can look at all around the world. What are people being taught? What is the real truth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my dad is a high school history teacher, and I brought up Operation Northwoods to him a few years ago, and he had never fucking heard of it. So he had to get on Wikipedia to believe what I was saying was true, and he couldn't believe that they had tried to pull off a false flag with the map. It's like basically 9/11 1.0, and this wasn't anything he was aware of. And now that he knows about it, I'm sure he hasn't given it a second thought. So, it's just...
Yeah, they don't teach you. I mean, they teach you what they want you to know. And I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of things that I really don't understand. Like, why not teach the real truth about things? What difference does it make? But everything now, especially now, you look at everything being taught is... I mean, I'm trying to think of a good way to say it, but everything being taught is like to groom you into being something else, to make you be what they want you to be, and to remember history as they want you to believe it. And it's not true. There's a lot of stuff I've looked at, the history books and stuff like that, and it's like, why? Yeah, I don't want to go off on a tangent.
Well, have you?
You'll get me going on this. You'll get me going on this one.
What do you think about the World's Fairs? Because to me, it's a hole I've dove into recently, and the World's Fairs.
We're going to get like the expert on it, freaking Rantcast. We're gonna bring him in here at some point.
Did you ever listen to the Great Deception podcast with Matt T?
No.
I'm having him on the 10th, and he's going to do World's Fairs and all the incubator babies and the architecture and all that stuff.
Right?
You want to talk about like hidden history and whitewashing history? That is just like the first place you should look.
Yeah, did you know that the first movie ever made was about a woman it's a French movie about a woman in Cabbage Patches, right? And the whole premise of the movie was actually to help promote incubators that had been invented for the World's Fairs. They were showcasing like pre-born babies at the World's Fair as part of an exhibit on baby incubators. It's downright freaking creepy.
Right. I've seen that. Yeah, creepy as hell. It's creepy as hell.
Yeah, and the orphan trains,
yeah.
Kid auctions and shit. It's insane.
You said it's the Great Deception podcast?
Yes. He's fairly new.
I've been watching what is it? Mind Unveiled? Mind Unveiled. So he did one on Charleston, and he's wrong. He got a lot of things wrong. Well, it's okay. The good news is if he comes back to Charleston, I will be there to school him personally in real life. I'll be like, let's do this, Give
him the tour.
Because I had my tour license for a while, so we can do that, But at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot of people covering a lot of this stuff, and it feels like you never get to the end of it. But the Cabbage Patch thing is just flipping creepy, man. The orphan train stuff is creepy. What is it? Yeah. The clubs are in every single town. God, what is it called? It's
the Shriners, is it?
No, it's not that one. It's another one that there's one in every single town.
Scottish Rite?
No, the Scottish Rite. It's another one. Of course, I'll think of it too later. It's right. It's basically like people that trained these foundling children up, right, using Catholic. And there's literally one in every town. They go into the premise. No, they primarily like deal with like building homeless shelters, things like that, and like housing the unhoused and like things like that. But they basically went into like helping foundling children. That's where they originated. Now it's just a bunch of old dudes talking about like blah 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 blah, right? Old dude stuff and like networking. But it originated as like them trying to help other foundling children find other people and like get like sustenance and providing for them. It was really crazy. It's a whole podcast on its own. Like you and I got to talk about that one later at some point.
So you're killing me. You're going to have to go into this JFK thing.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you want to do okay. I will shut the front door.
is there copyright on the Zapruder film? Like, are you guys allowed to show that?
On which film?
The Zapruder film, the one that shows the JFK getting his head shot. Because it's I kind of just set you up by talking about all these trained, brainwashed, mind-controlled assassins. And I really didn't get to Jack Ruby, how when he had killed Oswald, Jolly West went into his cell. And by the time he came out of there, Ruby could not speak complete sentences. His brain was mush. He was gone. And like I said before, this guy was the master of LSD. So who knows what he did to him? But definitely these guys all have, what's it called, Missy, when it's not a catchphrase, but it's like a trigger. Like you say a word or you play somewhere over the rainbow for these.
That's exactly where the concept trigger comes from. That's correct.
So
yeah, the trigger word.
I do believe that the CIA was definitely behind JFK's assassination. I do think Oswald was on site. He was probably fleeing the scene by the time the shots were fired. I think he kind of caught on to what was going on. The Grassy Knoll story is good, and it's definitely got some water, but the driver shooting him, I never really got behind that one. But I do think that his wife is the one who shot him. And I think
so. You're thinking Jackie did it?
I think Jackie gave the kill shot, and I think you can even see it on the film.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I just looked it up. It should be noted this Zapruder family created an enhanced version of the film that is much clearer than the original film in Nara's custody. You can rent the film, blah, blah, blah. But it is under the custody of the Kennedy Collection and is the copyright of the Motion Picture Sound and Video. But you can make a single fair use copy of the film and sell it or use it in any sort of research. So,
well, so I'll set it up. But to me, it blew my mind. So I was doing an episode on the Mandela effect.
Hang on, TF, can we pull up the Zapruder film and show it quickly?
Yeah, I was trying to. I was actually.
Well, I'll set it up
before you
watch it because you have to watch for her. It's when he gets shot the first time. It's in the neck, and he's grabbing his throat. And she leans over, and she reaches under his chin, and then the top of his head explodes. And if you're watching, she reaches behind the seat and drops something. And you can see a reflection of light on it. It's something metallic. But this is 8mm film we're talking about. So you just get frames. It's not, 32 frames per second like your standard speed. So you are missing a few frames, but you do see her, she's like, oh, what happened? Because he's grabbing his neck. And I don't think she even is aware that she did it. I think they got to her, did some kind of brain control shit.
Oh, like the Manchurian Candidate kind of shit. Well, like some Zoolander shit.
Everybody's talking about how she was ready to leave him because of all of his indiscretions. And I do think that J. Edgar Hoover, whoever else in the CIA, I think they used
cross-dressing weirdo and whoever else in the CIA, yeah.
And so I think that she was given a trigger word, and I think that's what the driver was there for. I do think the driver was part of it. I don't think he shot JFK like a lot of people say. But I watched a Mandela Effect documentary preparing for this. It was like our 4th episode on Conspiracy Playtime. And right in the middle of that documentary, they just throw that in there. Like, does anybody else remember Jackie shooting JFK? It was just so out of place. And then they just go on to like, hey, does anybody remember the cornucopia behind Fruit of the Loom? And it was just like, you're going to drop that bomb on me with the Jackie shooting JFK? And then they should have saved it for the end. But it's, if you watch it and you look for it.
Does someone have a YouTube video like where they slow-mo it? Is that possible, TF? Can we pull one of those up?
Well, I'm looking at right now. I'm on the Zapruder film, And so is this is like movie clips from '91, right? That's what
We
you're
can-
looking
we
for.
can use
That
it
would
for
be
fair
that would
use. I
be
just
from
checked.
the JFK film that Oliver Stone shot, and it is the real Zapruder film. So that one.
Yeah,
would work.
the original Zapruder film is actually up for, you can use it for fair use. So we're allowed to show
Yeah,
it.
the Oliver Stone one might not be the way to go. You could get a copy.
Right. That's
Because
what
that
I'm
one's
trying to
copyright.
figure out. I want to make sure we don't just get instantly.
Get a
kicked
copy
off,
of
so.
your, like it should be on YouTube. It might be on like their website,
I am
but
looking.
it's available for your fair use, so we don't have to worry about copyright on that.
I am looking.
So I'm curious if anybody out there has ever heard that before, because it's just was
I've
something
never heard that before in my life.
randomly
Like,
dropped into a Mandela Effect documentary, and I've never seen it anywhere since.
who did the Mandela Effect documentary that was discussing this?
That's nobody that's known, and it was a really shitty. The production value is very low, and it was like an AI robot chick voice narrating the whole thing,
Well,
and it was hardly worth watching.
Well, here's why this trips me out, because remember I was just talking a minute ago about Bakara and Gertrude Legandry and the OSS connection and all that?
Yeah.
Guess who hung out with Jackie O before she was married to JFK?
That woman?
Same family, the Legandry family.
I don't want to try to say her
Correct.
name. It sounds hard. How do you say it?
Well, before she was Jackie O, she was Bouvier,
No.
Jacqueline Bouvier. When she
But
was Bouvier,
the woman you're talking about.
Gertrude Legandry
Okay, that's the
and
one.
Bakara Legandry.
Legandry. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Legandry.
Or you'll tell me about it at some point.
Absolutely. I see if I can hit my mic again. I keep moving it, so I forget where it's at. when
You're
I'm
due
looking
to
at the
come back
screen.
on anyway, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You were my first guest. You know that.
I know. I wasn't. By the way, y'all, check out his channel, Conspiracy Playtime. Colby's a very smart dude, and he's on top of a lot of stuff.
The thing on the TV screen there. I don't know. Last time I was on and I called in, talked to you guys for a second, I got like 10 followers that night. So thank you.
Well, people are good. We have good people that follow us, and you know it's starting out slow, but that's how everything's intended. I don't want to get like flooded at first, anyways, because you know we're trying to
Figure
like
out what's going on first.
yeah, we've already had technical difficulties, like, you know, with you, like we've had technical difficulties before. Last week, my power went out. I'm like, well, maybe they're fucking with me. And so I'm starting to think, I'm like, are they messing with me? Is the government really like watching everything? My phone's doing weird stuff. Like I've gotten to that point where I'm like, but who cares? I feel sorry for whatever CIA agent has to like listen to me run my mouth for hours on Spaces. Like that poor man. Like, oh God, someone get him some cookies or something. He deserves a reward for having to put up with listening to me talk for hours on end.
Space is covered up in that with people monitoring that. It has to be.
We have feds coming all the time. We call them out. And we're like, hey, what's up, Fed? I like your shoes.
Right. Right. Exactly. I'm having trouble finding this footage, so I'm going to stop because I've spent 3 minutes.
That's all right. Anybody who's listening and wants
like,
to watch it, you could watch it. It's very accessible.
I have
Maybe
watched
we'll do a YouTube short about it.
Yeah, I've watched it on here, but I can't find the original, and I don't want to play it from Time Magazine, and I don't want to play it from I'm seeing all these other people who have posted it is all I'm finding. I'm not.
To those that are listening, when I start doing shorts for this channel, one of the first things that I'll be sure to cover is a blow by blow of the Zapruder, like Jackie O controversy, or Jackie Kennedy at the time. So I'll make sure to make that one of the first YouTube shorts that I make for this channel when I get to it, like next month when I first start doing them.
And I did drop your link again there, so make sure everybody does sub up Colby there at Conspiracy Playtime, not Playhouse. don't want to get that confused again. That is an interesting theory.
So I would love to see that. Isn't it funny, Colby, how that always happens? Like you're watching one thing and someone says something quickly and you're just like, wait, hang on, what? YouTube shorts blow my mind. I see stuff in YouTube shorts all the time that I'm just like, whoa. This reminds me of something else. And I got to pull out my notebook and like take notes on it because it really is like, it's you have a big piece. It's like having a giant puzzle, right? Except Finkel is Einhorn. That's correct. That is correct, P Digits.
What's up, P
That is correct. Laces out. Laces out. Love it. But yeah, it's like having a big puzzle, but not having the box with a picture on it. You don't know what the puzzle is going to eventually say. You don't know what it's eventually going to have a picture of. You don't know. All you know is that there's a million puzzle pieces, and this one fits here, and this one fits there. And sometimes you put pieces aside, but you pick them up later and put them back in. You know, it's crazy. I feel like no matter how much time I dedicate to this stuff, it's never enough, and there's never an end to it. I sit here and I take notes every time I talk to someone like you, Colby, or I talk to someone on one of these Twitter spaces. And it feels like the notes just are always there. Like there's always something I've missed. Or I
How stuffed is your filing cabinet at this point, Missy? I don't even want to know.
I have 3, actually 4. I currently have 4 working that I'm still working out of notebooks right now. Yeah, I have a problem, and it's called information. I also have like a bunch of terabyte drives full of like videos and like clips and like video clips. Like screenshots.
I have that issue too. I've got like so many notepads that are just full of stuff where I just constantly write stuff down, and then you end up going down these talking on things like that, and you never even get to all these notes that you've made.
Never.
And it's like, well, wait a minute,
Never.
I can go back and find this thing. Oh shit, which notebook's it in?
But I find that it's important to write shit down because it helps me remember it.
Right.
If I've written something down, it's kind of in there in a way. But like I came here tonight with just lots of stuff to go off of, and didn't really need it.
Can you just see me drop everything? All notes just fell at the back of this.
Hey, so is it cool? Is it cool if we normally like to take a couple? I think Missy disappeared, but
I just dropped my notes everywhere. I forgot that I put a bunch in the back of this notebook. It's like things like I'll be back in 5 minutes to hold up for when I'm like on doing YouTube stuff. So like they just fell out everywhere, and my chair's running over all of them. I'm like, I don't want to make these signs again. So sorry.
Colby, are you cool with it? We normally like to, at the end of the show, just like give somebody an opportunity to call in or something like that, or ask any kind of questions or add to it. Are you cool with that?
Of course, yeah.
I don't know if anybody will want to or not. Missy, you good with that as well?
Bluetooth disconnected.
I am now.
Bluetooth connected.
Is that your Bluetooth back connected?
Yeah, it's because I just hit my microphone with my headphones. Because people do that in podcasts. Very, very professional here. Very professional.
Well, what I will do, I'll drop this link. If anybody has any questions or insight or anything that wants to add to anything we've been talking about tonight, feel free to. I think everybody here knows how to use StreamYard, so just in case, I'm going to drop it to give you the opportunity to come in and give us your side of the story and see.
Colby, out of everything that you've looked at so far, what is your favorite, like I would say not conspiracy, but analyzation of conspiracy?
I definitely like the 2 things that Dave McGowan's written about that are the most famous, and that is Laurel Canyon and his work into satanic cults being behind most serial killers. In his book, Programmed to Kill, I think it's just as good as the Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon book. I think both those reads are just encyclopedias full of information that most people should take a look at. Moon landing as well. He wrote an essay that he never published in book form, but it's called Wagging the Moon Doggy, and you can go to Wikispooks and get the PDF file for free.
The moon landing.
Wagging the Moon Doggy.
Wagging the Moon Doggy.
Yeah, I love watching those moon videos. Those are pretty good.
So Tia, if you're a fan of Kubrick, did you watch The Shining through the lens of him telling us that the moon landing was fake? Have you ever done that?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Back in the day, I did all that. Yeah.
That hotel is super interesting. The Stanley Steamer Hotel. Very interesting. I got in a discussion with someone the other day about how it's sitting on top of a whole bunch of quartz rock, and how quartz like absorbs energy. It's one of the reasons that people want to like put them, because I'm not like one of those like woo like girls, like not like crystals and things. Like, I mean, I respect anybody else who does that, but it's not my thing. But I was like laughing because it hit me for the first time as someone who did like paranormal research for years, that the quartz like mountain that the Stanley Steamer Hotel's on, which is why like paranormal researchers think that it's so haunted and has so many issues. That's why you put it next to your computer. Quartz, I guess, can record memories, which is one of the reasons they also use quartz for making different chips. Am I not mistaken? Like microchips, right?
It's probably true.
Yeah, I'm not
Isn't
sure.
that crazy?
I'm not a microchip guy.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly they do. That's all
The
we can
concept
say
of rock, though, having memory, right? That's crazy. I mean, we know that trees like have emotions, right? They can feel things, and that's proven with scientific, like when they've done all these studies. So, what's so crazy about saying like quartz has memory? Rock has memory. So, if you have a building that had like traumatic things happen in it, and we know what these elites have been up to, elites, lizard people. You know, I don't like using that word. What these lizard people, whatever you want to call them, have been up to, right? Nice. We know that that's been going on. So it would, of course, that building would be full of all kinds of awful things, right?
You would think so.
Hey,
or at least bad energy.
Joey Foster's backing me up, guys.
Yeah, Joey, he can dive down the rabbit hole right there with us. I love Joey.
Yeah, he knows a lot. He's very smart. We do a trivia show every once in a while when I feel like it. Ty Guy's on restriction for a month, though, because he made the questions too hard last time.
I like Tide Guy's trivia show. It's fun.
Go ahead, Colby. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just saying it's nice to see someone actually went and checked it out and had the same reaction as me, because it's just something you don't think to look for. Why would you think to look at it right now for Jackie doing it? It doesn't make sense unless you have looked into all these MK assassination programs and see that they could have gotten to her somehow. But once you do look at it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, when you find
I watched it just a moment ago trying to find a link, and I'm gonna go watch it again after the stream, because I was like,
behind the seat is the one that did it for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Something metallic. I mean, she doesn't necessarily reach under his chin. You can't really tell, but it looks like she could be. And the shot goes straight up. It doesn't go back, which is weird.
Right, exactly.
That's the first time I've ever heard. And like when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, you might be onto something there. So I'm totally
I'll give you credit. Yeah, that's definitely a rabbit hole.
It's not me. It's just a weird Mandela effect documentary that kind of just fell into my lap.
I would love to see the original so I can make sure credit goes where credit's due. Yeah, and I wonder where they got the idea of that from. Have you tried messaging them or contacting them at all?
No, and it looked like an inactive YouTube channel. I hope it's still up. If you go to conspiracyplaytime.com, it's episode number 4, and it started out being a Mandela Effect documentary, and we got drunk and watched that Zapruder film, and then it just became all about that. It wasn't even a Mandela Effect episode anymore, so that's a good place to look.
It was episode what?
Number 4.
On what was the website again?
Conspiracyplaytime.com.
Yeah, go to conspiracyplaytime.com right now and check that out. And make sure you sub up Conspiracy Playtime on YouTube as well.
Also, the YouTube is a good place to watch us, but we have had 3 or 4 episodes pulled down. So
yeah, I think Rumble is going to be taking over when
Rumble's
it comes to.
Got all of Conspiracy Playtime videos. Spotify has got everything also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking at moving to the Rumble route as well eventually. I mean, doing both, but obviously at some point they're probably gonna, come at this channel. I would imagine if
doesn't watch your mouth, you guys will be lucky to last another few months. I mean, I'm not telling you to watch your mouth, Missy, but I keep getting our episodes pulled down too. So,
what did I say on yours?
No, yours are still up. All 3 of yours are still up.
Yeah, and there you go. If anybody likes trivia too, thank you, LW, for dropping that. There's Tide Guy's link too. He's a contributor to our show here as well, and a really cool guy. So make sure you check him out too. Thanks, LW, for dropping that link in there. I appreciate it.
He was your guys' last guest 2 weeks ago, correct? Okay.
And even since then, which I kind of assumed he would probably call in, but he must have fallen asleep. Even since then, there's been, we did the thing about the fires and the planes crashing into all these coincidences with the food factories and the chickens and everything.
And now the spreadsheet like a psychopath.
Right. And even, in the past week, we've had there was 2 today, right? 2 fires, or 3 fires today in Mexico that were U.S. owned thing. It's like every day something else.
Bragging about it. They're like, we got to get it on your soil, bro. Because he lives in Mexico. I've been making fun of him about like dragging like luring women to his house with eggs.
Yeah, he's coming on here bragging about how many eggs
cheap
he's
on
got and
there.
shit. You know, he's like, "Hey, baby, I got eggs." Hey, what's up, K Dog? Thanks
Oh,
for
wait,
stopping.
go back to the last one. I didn't get to see it.
That was Jack Marino. Thank you for the sub,
Jack.
buddy.
That's awesome.
Hey, so you just subbed up, man. That's cool. That is cool. That's what we like to see. We like to see everybody helping each other out, and that's kind of what YouTube's about. If you start a community and get other people involved, and everybody helps each other out, then we all grow together, and you know, have some fun along the way.
Yeah. We don't have any takers, huh? Which is fine. That's totally fine.
I'm kind of offended that my brother-in-law and my sister haven't called in.
I know. Here we go. I'll drop the link.
Yeah.
I'll drop the link.
You drop the link in the chat. So
well, they already have the link because I accidentally emailed.
Oh, that's right. You accidentally...
Yeah, there you go. Joey, LW, and LW, you always got good takes on this. Jump in with us if you want to. If you got anything to add, Joey, you as well, Tide Guy, if you're out there, we'd like to hear from you. Any of you happy people, we'd love to hear from you.
I know that Philip Cesaro was watching you guys on episode 1. I wonder if he's watching tonight. He's a good, Philip, Missy. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I know he's a fan of yours, but I think he was watching on week 1.
He talks to me on Twitter all the time. Yeah, he always like subs up and likes. He's a good dude. He tries to follow.
I had him on to talk about the Clinton body count, and the guys.
Oh yeah.
He retains libraries of books. Like he's one of those guys that just reads and he never forgets anything he reads. So he just pulls information
a lot.
Yeah, I should have you guys on together because he's definitely wants to be involved in the podcasting and he enjoys being a guest and he's really.
Send him the link. Send him the link or whatever.
What time is it over there?
Time doesn't exist. It's a casino.
I know, but he might be in bed.
This is a casino. Time does not exist. Time only exists outside of the casino. Let me see if I can send it to him.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Colby. As far as you were talking earlier about your favorite conspiracies and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to be careful what you ask on YouTube. I'm like, dang it, I'm find myself backing up my question now, but I've been doing like a deep dig, like back on like the Ark of the Covenant and stuff like that. What do you think about all that?
I'm actually fairly agnostic when it comes to religion, but I think that all that kind of stuff has some merit behind it. Anything that Steven Spielberg has made a movie about, I think is worth looking into, even though you might want to take away the exact opposite of what he's trying to say happened. But I do think that the Ark of the Covenant is very much something powerful. I haven't really, it sounds like maybe you've done some diving into it. I have never really looked deep into that one. But
well, it's interesting, and you should if you haven't, because it's actually, and you don't have to look at it like from the religious aspect either. And that's the point. I'm planning a thing. I've got like pages and pages and pages of notes to where we're actually going to do a whole show on that. But and I want to cover it from the not a religious standpoint. I mean, obviously you're going to to cover the religious aspect of it because you have to. There's no way you can do that without doing it. But I want to look at it from every different angle, and that's kind of why I'm trying to reach out to people to look, see what other people think about it.
I think it's highly interesting. We're actually probably going to be doing an episode on that. The next one that we just do together, we're going to be discussing the arcs that's coming up. There's so many things. I mean, it would be exhausting if it wasn't for the fact that like there's just always something else, and like you can't put it down. It's like an addiction. It really is. It's kind of an addiction.
Oh wow!
Here you go, Colby. I think this one's for you.
Well, she would be my favorite if she actually would have called in. Nobody's stepping up to the plate tonight. Come on,
I know,
guys.
Called in again. I'm kind of disappointed. I would think somebody would want to call in and do it. Joey says he can't. There's a little too much smoke to come out this channel. I hear you, Joey. I hear you. Well, you're more than welcome to join in if you want. And you know, anybody else, I mean, we're almost at 2 hours now. We try to keep these shows to 2 hours. I think that's kind of a good format. But anything else you want to touch on, Colby? You got anything else?
You know, I don't. I kind of covered everything that I wanted to brush on just to kind of lay the groundwork for the big Jackie shooting JFK reveal. But
I can't wait.
I mean, there's so many topics you can go. Oh, Knights of Templar, Freemasons. You know, does anybody here know Kojak? It's Conspiracy or Just a Coincidence podcast. Jack Allen, he's kind of been in the game for a while. I just had him on my podcast, and he's got kind of a interesting take on history. And he's been reading all these books, and he's walked away thinking that the Knights Templar were the good guys, and the Jesuits were possibly, or the bad guys, and the Jesuits were possibly the good guys. So I had never heard that before, and I know, like, in these circles, whenever you hear Jesuits, it's always nefarious. As far as Freemasons go, I mean, they're just attached to everything. If you want to get back to Disney, he was very, if not a Mason, he was very much Freemason aligned. He was part of a junior organization way before he became a film guy. Him and his brother actually started the Disney Brothers company before Walt Disney started, and they were pretty much funded and backed by that group. I don't remember what they're called. I don't know if you do, Missy. They were like a junior Freemason group.
Well, you know, even researching this ARC stuff, there is a lot of because obviously if you start researching that, you do come into the Knights Templar, because that is a theory. So when you start going down these rabbit holes, you know, then you click on this video, next thing you're watching Freemason videos, Knights Templar videos. And I mean, there is a lot of things that it can't be coincidences that do tie those two things together. And I mean, when you start talking about, like, even the widow's son, or the widow's, those talking points like the Freemasons have, you know, those things go back to biblical history and through the Knights Templar. And like you said, the Knight Templars might not have been the good guys. I mean, they are portrayed as that, but they might not have been. You know, they were supposed to be put out there to be like helping the people traveling and stuff like that. But really what they were doing was like taking every
pilgrimage.
Yeah. But what they were really doing was taking archaeological digs. They were finding, you know, anything that they could get their hands on and stockpiling all this stuff
kind
together.
Of like the Smithsonian.
Exactly. So I mean, that's a show in itself.
What are history books going to say about these wars that we've been involved in, we being the United States of America, the wars that we've been involved in since World War II? They're going to write that we were the good guys. We were the good guys in Vietnam. We were the good guys in both Gulf Wars. That's what it's going to say. And so, you know, there's got to be skeptics that look at history and just say, maybe it's the other way. And I mean,
what shocks me is, like, when people talk about Iraq, the first thing they don't discuss is Gulf War syndrome. That drives me insane. Like, I can't understand for the life of me how people don't want to discuss that. Like, wow, that is not the first thing that they look at when it comes to Gulf War.
Or if you want to talk about incubator babies again, you remember the whole false flag that they sold us. It was Naira going before Congress and saying that she saw, and it was during World War I. They were saying that the Nazi or the Germans were going around stabbing babies with bayonets. It's always been like incubator babies are always
the Lusitania babies under the ocean in all of their propaganda pictures to get America and get other countries. That being the British, like, citizens were done. They were done with World War I. The British royal family had to change their name from Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to Windsor because they wouldn't even support it anymore, right? And the whole concept of, like, freedom cabbage, so they called it, was freedom cabbage. I kid you not, back then too, right? And because that's what they called sauerkraut, was freedom cabbage during World War I. The same thing we did with the freedom fries thing. Remember that? Kind of weird, except they look. It's this weird playbook. They do the same things over and over again. But the British soldiers, the British people they were done. They were like, we're being rationed for food. We don't understand what this war is about. I guess some duke that doesn't belong to us got killed. Like, what the hell ever, right? But the Lusitania was the thing that dragged everybody in. And literally all the propaganda posters. TF, I've sent them to you, right? Lusitania propaganda posters.
No, you haven't. I have seen some before. But
It's
yeah, if you have
insane.
some, I'd like to see
It's
them.
all babies. Again, it's always about the blood, and it's always about the children.
It's like the damn
They're always-
Cabbage Patch Kids. I mean, you know,
Cabbage Patch Kids.
that
It's
weird ass
weird.
place. I've been to that weird place. It's creepy as hell.
Well, I mean, the thing is like, again, you see the same things over and over and over again. Colby, I mean, I said that like a while ago about how we talked about how this is not a new thing. The CIA didn't just come up with this stuff. This is stuff that's been around for a long time. The concept of like controlling people through images and iconography, the concept of this going after the kids. They've always gone after the kids. This is not new.
Colby's like, yep. I like your hat though, Colby. I like that hat.
I got a comment on it earlier. I had a $15 coupon to spend at Boot Barn, and I just bought this hat with it.
The coupon is more like it.
Oh yeah, flipping coupons.
I do like it though, man. I do like it.
Well, thank you.
I do like that.
I debuted it tonight for you guys.
I've got a quick just to make sure. I got to make sure we do plug our sponsors here, just to make sure. So don't want to leave them out. So let's see.
Today's reflections have been brought to you by Super Minty Pork Chop. Refresh your breath with every bite. Super Minty Pork Chop by Chork. Not quite chicken, not quite pork. Chork, the taste of nature forgot. And by the Ski Council of Nebraska. Tired of long lift lines, slow, gentle runs, and a soft hay base make our landscape perfect for beginners. Plan your next ski vacation to beautiful Nebraska. Now here's Traveling Cool. Today's
Thank you very much. And just to plug our sponsors, we do appreciate you just as much as you appreciate us.
Buy it, eat it. It's good.
Make sure you buy Chork. Not
I
quite
make
chicken,
soup out of it.
not quite pork.
My
Well, I
mom
guess
is trying to figure out how to call in, but I don't know if she's going to do it. I told her the link is in the chat, but
Oh, I love that. I
I
love
don't know
that
if she
so
can
much.
figure it out. I don't know if you're in a hurry to get off here.
No, we're in no
No.
hurry at all. We'll sit here and talk conspiracies all night long if you want to.
100%.
I mean, I'm down. It's 3 hours earlier in my side of the country.
Hey, I've been trying to keep it polite because, you know, the stuff I talk about in Twitter Spaces is so out of control that I have to keep it nice here.
I'm sorry I never joined when you send me the links. I've just never been a Twitter Spaces guy.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's just I feel like everybody's talking over everybody else. It just
Not
doesn't.
always. Sometimes,
Yeah.
but people.
Well,
get,
then you have
people
those
get
like snooty people that are like coming in there and they're like, okay, now everybody, you can't talk here, and next, okay, now it's your turn, and they're like these they're handing out your permission and when you can speak and when you can't.
Like
It's not
moderators.
Here's a crown. You're special.
Right.
You're invited to my birthday party, but you were not. You were not invited to my birthday party. Like that's what it feels like sometimes. Absolutely.
And half of them I go into, like the big ones, you always see like Brian Krasenstein or whatever his dumbass name is, that fucking dork. And he's always sitting in like the corner. Nobody ever lets him talk. I do like that. Like they
Poor
never
guy.
You know who he is, right?
I don't.
Oh, you don't want
Do I need to pull out my tiny violin again?
Right?
Oh, my
Krasenstein?
God.
This is
Oh,
a
the
Twitter person.
Yeah,
Krasenstein
he's-
brothers.
he's
Oh,
from,
they are
yeah.
pathetic.
Is he the guy that played Walt White in Breaking Bad? No, it's Bryan Cranston.
No, they're like paid. Him and his brother are like paid. You know, like they're paid to tweet and paid. They get their talking points every day, and they're paid to say whatever and
Like
everything.
Dad.
Yeah. Trump
90%
derangement
of the
syndrome,
media
like,
is owned by
constantly.
5 companies, folks.
Including
It's
Twitter.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, when someone was talking in the chat about the propaganda posters for the Lusitania, those are very easy to find. Just go to Google search and put in Lusitania propaganda pictures or Lusitania propaganda posters, and they are absolutely insane. TF, do you think you can pull those up real quick for everyone in the chat? Because a couple people are asking about it.
I might could.
While we wait on Colby's mom to figure out StreamYard real quick.
Well,
Exactly.
my brother and her are watching it together.
What's up,
That's
House
adorable.
of Bad Influence? I love this. It's like a conversation in the bar, and that's exactly what we're going for here.
That's what we're going for.
Just to be That is exactly what we're going for here. So
I feel like Missy just roofied me too. So that's very good.
I did. I roofied you with truth.
Ooh, a truthie.
A truthie.
A truthie. All right, Missy, what do you want me to try to pull up?
The Lusitania propaganda posters.
Now you're gonna make me try to spell Lusitania. Damn it.
Lusitana. I think it'll come up. I'm not good at spelling.
I hate spelling Lusitania.
Right.
Right. Let's see. And I'm looking for what? I see a bunch here.
Yeah, just the craziest first one you see. Like, just pull it up. They're insane. It's all babies underwater, and like really like because they basically used. By the way, William Churchill knew about Lusitania, like being in that crowd. You remember that the when it comes to Lusitania, they actually put out an article in the I think it was the New York Times, one of those the major New York paper, about how and it's from the Germans, right? Because they would do something like that about how they shouldn't, like no one should get on Lusitania. They were going to sink it. They said that they're like, beware. We know that you've been selling weapons to the Brits. The German country doesn't want anything to do with it. We have a problem with it, and you may as well be sunk if you go on an ocean passenger ship from this country to the country that we have war with. And they actually had an office literally like right down the hallway from Winston Churchill, where they were listening in on all of the U-boats conversational back and forth. So they knew not just by the ships that were sunk. But also by the back and forth conversations from the hallway that had the secret office that no one knew about till the 60s, the 70s, after all, actually, that they knew that this boat, the U-boat that sunk the Lusitania, had one torpedo left. And they knew exactly where they were going to be. And they actually shifted the route of the Lusitania to make them go in the path of that U-boat that was sitting there waiting.
So is this like what you're talking about here? Like this woman underwater holding a baby? And...
Yeah, that's how they used. Yeah, enlist. See that?
Oh, here you go. Here you go. And we got like
there's some crazy ones. Yeah, babies underwater. See, that's how we sell war, folks, to people that don't want it, that are war weary. This is how you sell it to them.
Yeah, here's more. This is like creepy as hell.
Click on the one that's right underneath it. The one that's directly underneath it. I just tried to do it myself, not thinking. I was like, oh wait, never mind.
Right, exactly. I mean, I can scroll down. You can see
the ones with the language that are on them are the best ones because they really do show you how propaganda works. Have you seen any of these before, Colby?
I have not.
No, this is creepy.
Yeah, click on one. Click on the one that's right there in the middle.
About the Lusitania last week, so this is interesting.
Top middle, right here.
See, is there a moon in this picture that you're on right here? Is that a moon?
Yes, that's a moon. It looks like a moon or a bubble. I'm not sure.
It might be a Chinese. It might be a Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just high between balloons.
Right. So what are you talking about? Right in the middle, Missy?
Yeah, right in the middle.
Like this Irishman
the clear
thing?
colors. Yeah, where it says
we're on eBay
Irishman.
now. Yeah, we're on eBay now. So you can buy this for $30.95.
Ooh, I'm going to hang it next to my Clockwork Orange picture.
I'm going to hang it from my doorknob.
Ooh, with a red scarf?
Or a belt.
Next got to be a red scarf if you want to be super serial about it.
Oh, I mean, I want to be just like Cave Spade. I want to be, or Elrin Scott, or Alexander McQueen. I mean, pick one. They all hung themselves from red scarves from doorknobs. So, but yeah, I mean,
Anthony Bourdain's my favorite.
Right? He could have used heroin, but why would you want to do heroin when you can just hang yourself from a doorknob with a belt? Especially you're dating Asia Argento, who is working with Roman Farrow, whose mother was Mia Farrow. Father could have been freaking Frank Sinatra. We don't know, but yeah, like it's so insane.
Just and like we don't know that Fidel Castro was Justin Trudeau's dad. It's like that.
Or that Khloe Kardashian.
I love that conspiracy. I love that conspiracy because they do look just alike. I mean,
well, have you seen the pictures of them like pretty much down in Cuba around the time of conception? And she's all over them.
Oh yeah, she's like hanging all over him and making out with him and stuff like that. It's like,
I would die on that hill myself.
Y'all have seen the pictures of Obama's mama, right? MK Ultra. Have you seen that?
Pictures of her?
Yeah, you've not seen the Obama mama pictures?
She's not talking about Michelle Obama doing the Ellen dance.
No, Obama's mother, like dressed up in like lingerie.
Missy came on my other show, which is called Disinfobation, if anybody wants to check that out. And I've been told that Conspiracy Playtime is like sipping a beer, and Disinfobation is like boofing a shot of Everclear. So that's how different they are.
You got a bunch of Everclear.
Missy came on there and tried to enlighten my co-host about Michelle Obama, if anybody wants to check that out.
How did that go over?
He didn't believe it. And he pretty much believes anything anybody tells him, but he didn't buy that one.
He didn't buy into that one.
Because he's attracted to Michelle Obama, so he didn't want to have to go there in his head.
Oh, no.
I love that one because it shows you who is really committed and who is not.
So here, LW threw this in there. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
I know who this is, and I can't think of his name either, but he definitely debunked it. This is when they had to kind of pull back on that whole incubator baby story.
Pull back or pull out?
I thought he was British. We might be thinking of different journalists. Maybe it was a Canadian guy. But
yeah,
we did an Operation Mockingbird episode. I think it's the second one on Conspiracy Playtime, and I definitely do show this journalist's work on that.
The incubator stuff is just, again, like that's really weird that continues to be a thing. The babies and the incubators and the cabbage patches and the, you know what I mean? And the cabbage, freedom cabbage. It's just a little too much.
Hey, Missy, let me interrupt you real quick. Colby is somebody by the name of MB with their initials. Would that be?
That's probably my mom. Yeah.
Okay. It says device is not connected. And what you have to do is you have to go in there and give permission on your phone. You just have to click. When you do the StreamYard, it's going to ask you to give StreamYard permission to access your phone's camera. And you don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. You can close your camera out. Just make sure you turn your microphone on. So yeah, but she is trying to come in. She is trying to come in.
I think my brother's going to do the talking, but I've been trying to explain it to her through texting, so hopefully they figure it out. It'll be a family affair.
On the JFK thing, TF, I just sent you an image of a warning poster that was found all over Dallas on 11/22, which is the day that he died of 1963. The wanted for treason poster of JFK. Can you pull that up too?
Also the same day that Aldous Huxley died.
Isn't that, well, yes, Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis died on the same day.
Oh,
and C.S. Lewis, the girl that he treated like his daughter, that he based Lucy, the character on in his books, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, she actually went on to marry Clement Freud, who is Sigmund Freud's grandson, who became an MP, Sir Clement Freud, who also was a prolific pedophile and got charged with all of it, and he died before anybody ever got taken to trial, and she apologized profusely for.
Well, I actually just watched. You remember Amy Says What the Fuck?
Yes.
Missy? I just watched her Project Monarch documentary, and she brings him up. Freud's grandson. I don't remember what the connection was, but it was in.
I probably told her about that one.
It was in connection with one of those beta sex kittens, and I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, he seemed like a creepy dude.
Again, Obama's mother was a beta sex kitten. She was. I can show you the pictures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got pictures of her wearing like Betty Page outfits back in the 1950s and 60s. Yeah. A lot of people aren't aware of that until they look it up. Dude, my phone is like a wet dream for the FBI. They probably are like, oh, we're going to get her. Just wait for it.
I bet your search history is quite.
Oh, I'm on a lot of lists. I am on a lot of lists. At this point, like I tell people, I'm like, let me look it up for you.
I talked with Missy on the phone for 7 hours one night, and I noticed black cars have been following me ever since.
Because the helicopters, you know.
Yeah, black helicopters as well, like floating over your house.
I forgot about that. We did talk for 7 hours. Well, you needed a pep talk. You were having a bit of a rough time. But I mean, this world, like the stuff that we discuss, is going to break down anybody. It's really
Was
hard.
I having a rough time? I thought we were just getting ready to go on air, and we just ended up talking.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, we do have somebody wanting to join in with us here. House of Bad Influence.
Right.
House of Bad Influence. That's what your mother calls. I love this.
He made a comment earlier, right? He had the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. I'm not sure who this is, but we will jump over and do something like this just to make sure. Well, what's up, House of Bad Influence? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing? Don't mean to interrupt you guys in your chat, man. Just thought I'd say hi.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you taking the time to come in, man. What do you think about all these crazy conspiracies? Any of them you buy into, or anything you?
I've had CSIS at my house, man. CSIS is the equivalent of the American FBI, right?
In Canada?
Yeah, they came to my house, sat down with me for 2.5 hours. Well, about 2 hours. Drank about 6 of my beers.
Tea or coffee?
Why did they show up?
Because of this flag behind me.
Okay,
it's the flag that caused
the back so we can actually see.
You've heard of the Emergencies Act in Canada, right? That was enacted that emergency. Well, Diagolon was part of it, right? It's a joke flag. It's a meme flag. It's a meme country. It's a joke.
Oh, there he is. Okay, I see the flag now.
But they took it seriously, and it went to the Canadian government, went through the whole friggin' Legislative Assembly and the Senate, and they kept mentioning Diagolon, and every time they did, we were just pissing ourselves laughing because it's a fucking joke. Right? It's like it's from Alaska all the way down to Florida, and everybody on the coast are all the insane people. Everybody in the center are like all the people who were against the mandates and shit. And the vice president's a goat that has a cocaine habit and time travels and shit. Right? And it made its way all the way through the Canadian. We made a mockery of the Canadian government, and they hate us for it, man. I shouldn't say that.
They tend to make a mockery of themselves.
Yeah, we helped it. Yeah. So CSIS came to my house, and a lot of my friends' houses, a lot of Jeremy's friends' houses. The guy who started it, who made the flag with a swipe of his phone. That's as a joke. Now it's just gotten carried away.
Did you say that they drank 6 of your beers? I think you heard.
I kept feeding them to them. I kept have another one. Have another one. Why not? You're gonna sit in my house and around my table. You're gonna drink. You're gonna sit with me and talk. We're gonna be drinking these. That's it.
I guess so. And what are you drinking? Is it like Abbott's or something? Or?
No, it's made by Moosehead Brewery, St. John, New Brunswick. It's called Alpine.
Oh, nice. Alpine, nice.
1937, brewed out of rebellion.
And pass me one.
1937, brewed out of rebellion. That is
it was a son that brewed it
title.
Against his father's wishes, and he just made it himself. Like, I'm going to make my own beer.
That's a great name for a company.
Colby, I feel sorry for your mom or your brother or whoever, but it still keeps saying device is not connected.
Hey, if they can't figure it out, it's not meant to be, I guess.
They keep trying to come in, but I can't add them because it says.
Well, we got House of Bad Influence here instead.
Yeah.
Well, I won't interrupt you. I can.
No, you're good. We wanted someone to come join us. That's kind of.
But I thought I'd share my CSIS story because a lot of my friends are jealous because CSIS hasn't gone to see them.
Right.
like they don't carry guns. They're just like detectives without guns.
Do they wear Mountie hats?
No, they were just plainclothes guys, just dressed like normal. Well,
did you feel threatened whatsoever?
No.
Okay.
I always thought it was funny that they call Canadian cops Mounties because that's like when you have a problem dog. You're like, oh, it's a Mountie. Right?
No, they were nice guys. They just wanted to know. They were wasting their time with Diagolon. Man, there's actual real problems in this country. Like, there's actually real people that want to do harm. Not us. We're just a bunch of memesters getting drunk online and shooting shit like we are now, right? Like, that's all we do. But if you speak out against the government in Canada, man, holy fuck, do they ever clamp down on you?
Yeah, like it seems like it's pretty bad.
Like Chris Sky's got, I don't know if you know who Chris Sky is. The guy with the teeth and the tattoos there.
Yeah.
Well, he's got like 60 charges on him, man. Like, that's just trumped up fucking nonsense because he's speaking out. And Jeremy McKenzie, the guy who started this flag here.
Oh, I saw that where he got debanked.
Yeah, he got debanked. Yeah. Like just now you
He
can't pay
removed
your mortgage.
the mortgage from his home.
Well, luckily he's raised enough money that he's almost got that paid off. But still, he doesn't have funds.
People won't put up with it.
He's got kids, man. You know.
In the meantime, like, I mean, we see the same thing in America, but in the meantime, like, we see them send like billions of dollars over to freaking Ukraine, and it drives us nuts.
Yes.
What do you do? What do you do?
Are you anywhere near the Palestine disaster, or are you a different part of the country? Are you getting any fallout from that?
Oh, I'm in southern Ontario. Yeah, I smelt it, man.
Well, you know they say, who smelt it dealt it. Now you're responsible.
People in Canada had like oily residue on their windshields.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen any of that. But
vinyl chloride.
It's okay to drink the vinyl chloride.
No, it's not.
I want to, I was saying, how Obama went to
It's your fault
Michigan?
for voting for Trump.
Obama went to Michigan and drink the water. I want to see Joe Biden do that. Can't get across the water.
I rewatched Aaron Brockovich. We got an echo. I rewatched it. That was
we do have an echo coming in from somewhere.
Oh, you can't have one on your YouTube in the background.
Is it me?
Oh, yeah. If you close your YouTube out while you're on with us, you can open it back up when you get off.
Well, I closed the other. I closed the one window. It's just me on StreamYard, so it's only one window open.
It might be one of us then.
Could be you, Colby. Maybe your microphone finally rebelled.
Is it my mic? I don't know. Let me turn my mic up. See, that makes it worse.
Yeah, I don't think it's you, actually. It's not you.
Settings under echo cancellation. Click on that.
I don't know. How about now?
No, you're not echoing. Everybody else is.
Yes, just when we talk.
I'm working on it. Y'all just keep going. I'm working on it.
Maybe it's because I'm Canadian and it's a Canadian thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, say A, and we'll see how many times we can hear it.
Fuck A. Hey.
House of Bad Influence. As a Canadian, you might agree with this. In my house, I have a swear jar, but I also have a sorry jar because my kid's been apologizing too much lately. So I make him put a quarter in the swear jar, but the sorry jar costs $1.
Right.
You ever say, I'm fucking sorry, Mom?
You need to have
that's it.
a sorry jar, and then you can help anybody you want because y'all apologize a lot.
No, there's right. I don't. I don't. I make a habit of not to unless I really, 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 really messed up, man. And you own it. If you messed up, you own it. But I don't go around going, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah, I don't buy into the apologizing thing. I mean, mainly you shouldn't say things that you don't mean. But if you say something that you actually mean, then you shouldn't have to apologize for it.
No, you come out of your face. You own it now, right?
Right, exactly. And why apologize?
Your mouth, you can't put them back in.
Like that time I asked that woman how many months she was, and she wasn't pregnant. Right?
Hell, we've all done that. We've all done that.
Oh my god!
It's like the most horrible thing. Is it a boy or a girl? What do you do? It's like, I did.
He took it good though.
Tiny little mega hat. That's what you do.
You guys don't mind if I do this, do you? It's legal up here in Canada.
No, don't do that if you don't mind.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because
how about a cigarette?
Cigarette's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, as long as it's just Prince Albert in a can or something like that, then you're good to go.
Smoking cigarettes yesterday, and I've changed my mind already.
That's terrible.
Now, Missy, you asked me to show this. I'm not exactly sure, so I got it up for you here.
This is a poster that was distributed all over Dallas. This was everywhere when he was shot. Like, they were pulling them down after he was assassinated because people were like offended. Yeah.
Distributed. No, I have not ever seen that.
If y'all can read it, it says
George H.W. Bush hanging those up.
This was written by communists. Betraying our friends in Cuba and Portugal and Yugoslavia, Russia, Poland.
Yeah, I could probably read it just in case nobody nobody looking at this. So I'll say this man is wanted for treasonous activities against the United States. Number 1, betraying the Constitution, which he swore to uphold. He is turning the sovereignty of the U.S. over to communist-controlled United Nations. He is betraying our friends, Cuba. What is that? Katanga, Portugal, and befriending our enemies, Russia, Yugoslavia, and Poland.
Can't have
Yeah,
that.
this is pretty crazy. I won't go on, but it keeps going like that.
He's been wrong on innumerable issues affecting the security of the United States, United Nations. 3, he's been lax in enforcing communist registration laws. 4, he's given support and encouragement to the communist-inspired racial riots. 5, he's illegally invaded a sovereign state with federal troops. 6, he is constantly appointed anti-Christians in federal office, upholds the Supreme Court and anti-Christian rulings, aliens, and known communists abound in federal offices. 7, he's been caught in fantastic lies to the American people. And it cut off the bottom for me, but
it says 8, he failed to sign off on Operation Northwoods.
8 is why Post killed him, brah. Clip.
They wanted this guy gone really bad.
The son of a bitch will not keep troops in Vietnam.
This is how, it's not good business.
Hey, but now we're here. And here we are now.
That's my ex-girlfriend, by the way.
Oh, she's lovely.
She's from
I can
Portland,
tell by her
Oregon.
dinner work she's not Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Or British. Right? Wouldn't it suck to be one of these people who became a meme, though?
Seems lovely.
Like if you were one of those people who actually became a meme, that would be horrible.
I did it intentionally, but if not,
Become a meme yet.
Be kind of funny though. I don't know. Like, hey, that's me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You become your own meme. You've got government offices worried about your memeing. So.
Yeah, that's man. Like, what kind of government do you have when you can meme them like the crap out of them? They just can't. That's how dumb they are. They're so freaking stupid, man.
So was it like Dudley Do Right that like showed up and just tried to?
No, I thought they were Jehovah Witnesses at first, but they were a little too buff to be Jehovah Witnesses.
Were they dressed like Michael Douglas?
No, they were kind of dressed like I don't know,
like Koreans like Michael Douglas.
They're going to a roofers convention. I don't know. They were dressed down, trying to look like they were like one of us, but they can't do that. So
bless their heart.
They should have wore plaid, and I would have been like, well, I already invited them anyways. It doesn't matter. But
I mean, how did it go down? Did they knock? I mean, just a simple knock on.
I seen them coming up my front stairs, and I just headed them off the door. And I'm like, hey, can I help you? And
so you don't own a dog.
No, I haven't.
Okay. So you need to get a dog because that really helps. The last time the JWs came to my house with that watchtower thing, and all that jazz, and they were like, "Oh, well, your path to heaven." I was like, "Well, you know what? Your path to heaven is going to be a lot quicker if I open this door and let this dog out because you're going to meet your maker really fast." And they leave. And the best thing I've found when the JWs when they come, what I've seen a lot lately is it's always a man and a woman now.
Well, they bring kids with them too, man. They do the kid thing, so you don't.
Well, normally it's just one, and it was this guy and his wife, and yeah, I mean, she was kind of cute for a girl dressed.
They're usually
the way
pretty
she
hot.
was.
I noticed they're
But
pretty hot.
what you do, I figured it out. What you do is you just start hitting like hardcore hitting on the wife, and they will never come back. That guy got so pissed off at me. I started asking for his wife's phone number and stuff like that. They never came. They never came back. It was funny. I'm like, well, I dude, I don't really care about that watchtower, but hey, baby, what about you? You're looking pretty cute there in your khaki pants and that cotton t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely not watching from a tower.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good way to get them to not come back. Just hit on their wife. They will not come back.
What do you think about the interesting story that produced the Mormon Church and the interesting story about Scientologists?
Oh, fuck.
The Mormons and the Scientologists in one package?
Pick one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, geez.
Sophie's choice.
I think that they they're kind of racing to see which religion can grow the fastest, and it seems like Scientology might be edging them out in the last 50 years. It's funny to me because you always get these religions that are offshoots of other religions, and the Jews don't like the Christians don't like the Mormons, and I'm assuming Mormons don't like Scientologists. But what do I know? I've never talked to a real one.
I don't think they're allowed to talk to anybody. They're locked away, aren't they?
Actually, I just had a Scientologist on my podcast.
Only
telling
Sean
us
gets walked
to
away.
not pay taxes. So
Did he jump on a couch?
no, he was zooming in, so we didn't get to talk to him in person. But,
Okay.
yeah.
I've never used Zooms. I'm not like a professional yet. You know?
StreamYard's better, I can tell you right now. The features.
Well,
are better.
I'm glad you got StreamYard figured out, Colby.
Yeah, thank you,
He's
Missy.
gonna help your mom now.
Yeah. Now, if you can get your mom to figure out how to use StreamYard, then you'll
I think
really be
we're
honest.
working with a lost cause, and I don't know if they're trying to get in on a laptop or a phone or what they were doing.
From South Carolina, I just want to say, bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
House of a Bad Influence. Have you ever heard that before? That phrase?
What's that?
Bless your heart.
Yeah, of course.
You know what it means, right?
It means I care about you, and
No. She's relating it to the point of like where somebody really messes up, and you're like, bless their heart. It's like a southern. Yeah, it's a southern United States way of saying, like, bless their heart.
He's a little touched. Bless his heart.
Right, exactly.
We're just gonna have to love him a little
Missy,
bit.
you already got my mom thinking she's a lizard person.
Maybe she is.
You told that, when you were on the last time, you said that the RF negative crowd with the
Or
blood
H negative.
types. Oh, there you
Or
go.
H negative. We know that's actually the rhesus monkeys, which is the ones they do all the testing on.
Oh, them's the ones that throw shit at you too.
Yep, 100%.
I hate monkeys. Those damn things.
It is not the Strait of Gibraltar when you got monkeys around you. It's just the poop of Gibraltar because they throw. They're throwers. They will steal your glasses. If I'd known your mom was coming, I would have done my hair.
I don't think she's coming. I haven't got a text in a while.
We're just gonna have to love.
They might have gave up, and I feel bad, Colby. They kept popping up in the chat, and I just didn't know what to do. I don't know where this echo is coming from, but House of Bad Influence.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to run by us?
You guys ever check that Raging Dissident?
I believe that they follow me on Twitter. I think
Raging
maybe.
Dissident, probably.
Sounds familiar.
We used to.
Rance Derrick, Raging Dissident. I'd follow those guys. Ferryman's Toll. You want to see a meme wizard? There's a meme wizard.
This is on Twitter you're talking?
Well, Ferryman's Toll, he's the guy who coined the term "the honking will continue until freedom improves." He started that. That was him.
Okay.
JP Sears.
Yep.
Said a couple of Ferryman's Tolls a couple of memes that he started. JP Sears said, and you got what's his name?
He's the Canadian version of Cat Turd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I know you Americans don't really follow Canadian politics, but man, I'm 48, and Canadian politics has never been more fucking fucked in the head and hilarious. Sorry for my language.
Hey, let me ask you about this.
Go ahead.
Do you see the Canadian government trying to talk people into killing themselves? Because that's what we've been covering.
They've been doing it. I have a lot of veteran friends, and they've already. Most of us with a brain already know that they've already been dealing with suicide issues.
Right.
And now that our healthcare system is even worse than it was before, which was way bad as it was, it's like it's in the tank.
Right,
no, but instead of I can't get my chairlift in. Well,
exactly.
Have you thought about committing suicide? That's
you ask
one,
for a chairlift and they show up with a gun. Have you ever considered suicide, eh?
Right.
Yeah, I wanted a chairlift.
What did you think?
You're on a backlog. It's going to take you 8 months to get surgery. Do you want to die? Right. There's that option. How's that right? That's. I swear a lot, but I will not swear here. It's not. I'm a guest.
No, you're allowed to swear here.
But
It's okay.
Man,
Mom's asleep now. We can all.
He's like, nah, fuck, man. Okay. He's like, I got the green light.
You know,
nah,
like,
fuck.
When people have those thoughts in their head about ending their life, and it's and they're not in serious pain, like kill me now, please. Like, you know, like it's not that situation. It's just like they're just down, and down on their luck, and they can't afford their bills. They can't, like. Here's this option. How about fucking no?
Well, there's another guy with a hearing.
Responsible government does that.
Guy with a hearing problem. They're like, hey, why don't you just kill yourself? And he was kind of on the spectrum. His family was taking care of him, and they went behind his family's back and talked him into euthanasia.
But they're starting to make it so that kids can go and do it now.
Right.
So underage people can go.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
You know they want.
Well, okay. So if kids can, underage children, let's call them children. If you're under 18, you're a fucking child. But if you can go behind your parents' back and go get your parts chopped off, why can't you go behind your parents' back and go get maids?
Yeah, that's messed up.
You didn't get a tattoo.
Yeah, you still can't get a tattoo though.
No, but you
can go
get
up in arms about that.
Off and you can go get made, right?
It's like, I just got my dick chopped off, and I'm waiting until I turn 18 so I can get a tramp stamp.
I guess you rated our movie.
This is going to be great. I mean, I got my life goals already set out.
The Monarch butterfly.
Movie, but hey, you should just.
Well, this is like I'm an atheist, man. I've never been a believer, and don't judge me on that, man. I've tried to believe when I was younger. I just can't. Okay. But all my friends are Christians and stuff, and I really, my heart goes out to them because I've seen lots of persecution against Christianity and Christians. Like there's like 56 churches burnt in Canada last couple of years. 56 churches burnt down, man, to the ground. Nobody heard about that. Not a peep on the mainstream media.
Well, they did find like 1,700 children's bodies outside of.
Did they? Where?
Where are the mass graves that they found?
They did. Have you ever heard of Lauren Southern?
Well, yeah.
Well, not just Lauren Southern, but there's some other people that went and paid the money to go have some ground penetrating radar and go over these sites.
LiDAR.
Yeah, and a lot of them are adults, and they're just. Yes, there's some children there, but I can tell you lots of graveyards around Canada that aren't native. There's a whole town in New Brunswick used to be called Jonestown. There's a whole graveyard there that was on my buddy's private property. And it was majority kids. It's all kids. Why? Because kids died back then. They didn't live past 6 most of the time.
That's true.
They died of fever.
That's true.
Right?
Except for the fact that you find out that the Catholic Church, like,
up to the 1900s, they died, man.
Punishment. It's really like crazy.
No, but they just blew that. It's another balloon thing. It's like, look over here. Like our Canadian government's been shitting on the natives for a long time. They still are. There's no clean water on our reserves, but we can give money to Ukraine.
Would I be offensive if I were to say that I think it's weird when you have an inbred person on your money?
There's quite a few. Yeah, I don't like. I hate. Don't get me started on the friggin' monarchy, man. I don't like the monarchy at all. Get the queen off our money. Get the queen off our money. But our military has such a rich history. Keep that history.
She has such a lack of empathy. Right. She cared more about her animals than her own children.
Right, but we have a lieutenant governor who just sits around and does nothing. We have all this leftover nonsense from the royalty that's just.
What's a lieutenant governor?
They're useless. Like what do they do?
What does that mean? Like what?
A lieutenant governor. Oh, they're supposed to be the in between Canada and the Queen. So they have the power in between the Queen and the Dominion of Canada. We're supposed to be our own country, but we're not. We're still.
Our voting was on Dominion.
Part of that inbred Habsburg friggin' dynasty nonsense, whatever the hell they are.
The jaw.
They're all inbred.
Let me ask you this: House of Bad Influence. Where did you find us from?
You actually were on with Lincoln Kane.
Okay. So you came over from Lincoln's. So that. Yeah, and Jeff Lepard. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. Exactly. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
We should do a very Canadian episode.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I love Jeff. Lincoln's cool too, man. Jeff and I I remember watching the Beers and Cheers with Jeff Lepard before he got famous. You know, when it would just be like 6 people, 7 people on the stream. Well, he kind of got YouTube famous there for for me. He was getting thousands. I like Jeff. Jeff's a good dude.
I didn't know he knew Josh Bigger from Big Time Roofing.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but
oh crap, that guy's hilarious.
What's up, Rama Jamma Taylor? Thanks for stopping in, man.
Colby, we haven't heard from you for a minute, maybe because you don't have like a lot of Canadian.
Hey, I brought up the suicide shit. What are you talking about?
There's a topic to get back on.
Right. Well, House of Bad Influence. I appreciate you stopping in. I think
thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to wrapping this thing up here pretty quick. So,
yeah, I gotta head to bed.
Yeah, feel free to call back in.
I have to go buy a pack of cigarettes. Thank you, Smoking Gun Cafe.
I'm a bad influence. I am a bad influence. What can you say? All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Too. Hey, matey, have a great night, buddy. Appreciate you being here.
I need to figure out how to get downstairs here. There we go.
All right. That was a good call. That was a good call.
What do you think, Colby?
Huh?
I'm sorry it wasn't your mom, but not bad.
Yeah, she's still trying to figure it out, but I don't know.
Poor mom.
She said they tried from both a phone and a laptop, so I don't know. Just wasn't meant to be.
Can you pull up that last message from me real quick that you had on the bottom of the screen?
Wait, which one?
The last one you had, the last post, the last from the chat.
This one here.
Esso's been giving us some good little things tonight.
Deepness.
Esso's awesome, and
it's short for esoteric, right?
No, yeah, he's a Clemson fan. He's a Clemson fan, Missy. That's the Esso Club. Is what he's talking about.
I'm in the Esso Club.
You've been there, right?
I'm in the Esso Club, definitely. As an esoteric, right?
Yeah. Well. And we got Vince in the Bay coming in here too.
Vince,
what's up, Vince?
Vince, I don't know what you guys are doing. Anybody who's listening to this, I don't know what y'all are doing tomorrow night, right about this bat time, but not in this bat place. On Twitter Spaces. If you guys follow me on Twitter, it's actually in my name, at Frantic Missy. We do a comedy game show on Sunday nights called Who's This, What's That? Vince in the Bay actually hosts it. And it is a journey. Sometimes it's a shit show from the get-go. Sometimes it's amazing. It just depends. And it's all kinds of different personalities telling all kinds of different jokes. And basically he puts up an image and he asks us to identify it, and it's wrong answers only. And it gets cookie dukes. It's so much fun. It's really like probably one of the most, I look forward to it every single week. I really do. I enjoy it. Not as much as I enjoy being here with you guys, but it's definitely second.
No, I've actually listened to it quite a few times. You've sent me the link, and I'm like, I'll sit there and listen to you guys do the, what is it? Who's this? What's that? Isn't that what you call it? Yeah. Yeah. It's actually quite entertaining. How do you find Vince? Like, what's his at? Or
at
Vince, if you want to, type that in
on Twitter.
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
He's at Vince in the Bay on Twitter.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
At Vince in the Bay on Twitter it's actually pretty funny.
And even if you're not up on the stage, or you're at work, or you've got something else going on, I assume that a lot of people that like work late listen to something like what we're doing right now. So even if you're like working late or whatever, you can actually respond to the tweet that he posts, and we all try to retweet it. So you can actually respond to the tweet itself and give your answer, and we read it on the show. So
yeah, it's pretty funny. He throws up like like a random picture, and it'll say like what how do you describe it, Missy? Like what are they thinking, or what are they?
Yeah, who's this? What is that? And another thing that now he's got his Chat GPT telling us like what people would say or what something would do. It's hilarious.
Right, it's funny.
It's really fun. I literally look forward to it every week. And we get stupid inside jokes. I told him that we've got a sponsor. LW. Yeah, well, I've seen you there. That's true.
LW's awesome, man. He's a good friend of mine.
Audience.
He's cool. And Vince does a good job too. Vince has got it like you can obviously tell Vince has worked in radio or something like that. Like he's got it down. Vince has it. He does a really good show. Yeah, I'm impressed. Every time I listen, I'm actually like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. I don't know who the hell he is, but he knows what he's doing. So,
hey, TF, have you worked in radio?
maybe or maybe not.
Your voice is just chocolate, man. I told Missy that the first episode, and she goes, "You know he's white, right?"
Yeah,
I said, "Yeah, but his voice is like silk, or smooth like silk." So
I had to tell him that, like, you were.
Thank you
totally
thank you very much, Colby. I do appreciate you tuning in. We can get some grooves going in the background right after this. Tune in. No, I appreciate it though, buddy.
Tiafa, in his spare time, he builds furniture. So he's a carpenter like Jesus.
I am just like Jesus.
If I were a carpenter.
Hey Vince, I actually did come on your show that one night. I haven't had a chance to come back, but I do plan to be there because it is a lot of fun. I will definitely come back.
I really appreciate him showing up. Yeah, Duggar, thank you. That's our lawyer, by the way, Mr. Duggar. Mr. Duggar, you should come to Who's This, What's That? Because Vince could totally use a lawyer, considering some of the things people say on that show.
Yeah, Mr. Duggar is not on Twitter, but I've tried to talk him into it. But I think he feels that he would get kicked off before he even got on.
You're not going to get kicked off. I've said some of the worst things humanly possible.
I got kicked off as soon as Elon Musk took over, so don't be so quick to say that.
Colby, I've seen on your Twitter page, like you've got it out against Elon, man.
Yeah, Elon's one of my least favorite people on the planet. In fact, I'll be going on NY Patriots show a couple of weeks from now, and I'll be giving my Elon spiel if anybody wants to watch that.
Okay, when do you actually go live, Colby? Do you have like a set schedule or something?
No, I don't go live with Conspiracy Playtime. We do some live drops every once in a while.
And there's also disinformation.
Disinformation doesn't go live. We record on Wednesday, and I typically get that out by Monday. But we're trying to actually get to where we can get that show live. I like
when that happens. We would love to do the swap cast.
Yeah, I'd love to join in, man.
We can do it all together.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we would love to do that.
Yeah, we could do like a merge, promote each other and stuff like that.
Definitely.
You could put it on Rumble and we could put it on YouTube, or vice versa.
They don't like us on YouTube, so just don't put our name anywhere in the description.
Well, I already did that.
You put disinformation in there?
No, not that one.
Okay, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I put conspiracy. Yeah, so if anybody watching this later and hearing this, go to the description of the video and you can find everybody's links to their channels and stuff like that, and make sure you do follow Colby and Missy as well. And you can follow my main channel as well too, Traveling Fools, which Colby, if you ever get bored, keep an eye out if you follow Traveling Fools, because there are late night fun streams.
I just saw you did one what was it? A couple 12 days ago maybe?
Or maybe last night.
Did you do one last night? Okay.
Yeah, that might have happened. And sometimes
right.
they can go late, and it's normally a bunch of nonsense people talking. We actually had some good conversation last night on there. I had some Australian people calling in and stuff like that. And
I love the Aussies.
Oh, we went deep. We went deep into gun control and all kinds of stuff. It was quite the fun conversation.
I love Aussies because they acknowledge my preferred pronoun, which is the C word, which I cannot say in here in case your mother's still listening.
My mom has a worse mouth than you and I combined.
Oh, good. Well, then my preferred pronoun's kind.
Ooh, she said it.
They have cactus in Australia?
Everything's trying to kill you, including us, women. You don't believe me? Ask the question.
Yeah, Esso says, yeah, just like Jesus. Exactly, Esso. I don't turn water into wine, but I will drink it.
I turn wine into pee.
Popular guy, right? Can you imagine how awesome it would be if you had a friend of yours that could turn water into wine? But hey,
well, I've always laughed about that.
Just too much. Yeah, but you don't understand. He's got this friend named Jesus.
Right. I mean, people have told me before, hey, you drink too. You should just say. I'm like, man, Jesus. He had to be the hit of the party. He's showing up, and they're like, man, Jesus, come on, man. We're made after his image, supposedly. So, yeah, if I could turn water into wine, I'd be the hit of any party as well.
Well, you also drink Jesus's blood, and it's it's got like an alcohol percentage of 11.5 at least.
It's like malt liquor.
I feel judged right now. And it's not just because I have a blue tongue.
Are you drinking wine tonight? Are you doing the old what's the show where they drink it in the pop can? Always Sunny.
Alcohol.
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That has to be one of the funniest shows. I want to be Dennis.
You could pull it off.
Yeah.
I've been told I've got a Charlie Day thing going on by some people. So
I almost threw that out earlier. You know that meme where Charlie's like trying to draw all the different things together. Earlier, when you were going to this way and this way, I was actually looking for that meme. I was gonna say, this is Colby right here, right now.
Who doesn't have a murder board in their house?
Well, I used to have the Russ Cole from True Detective as my Twitter banner, where he's got all the little threads going every which way.
There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with anybody else who doesn't see it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, guys, you got anything else you want to touch on, or you want to close this up, or you want to keep going? I mean, it's totally up to you. It's totally up to you.
If we close it, Colby, I want you to hang out for a few minutes so we can watch the Zapruder film in the back channel.
I'll go as long as you guys want to go. I mean, if anybody else wants to throw out a topic. I'm 3 hours behind y'all.
Oh,
right. Well, I dropped the link. Yes, Mr. Duggar, I do agree with you. Jesus is Lord. As my lawyer, I can't speak for other people, but you know where I stand on that.
I love his icon. By the way.
I will say that as made in his image, he gave me my sense of humor, and it's rotten to the core. So I can at least still make jokes, you know.
I believe in once saved, always saved. So can't get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when women play pool. I'm like, it's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. Right. What's the
well, I did drop the link, so let's give it one more minute. See if anybody else wants to jump on. Look, there's a link to this channel. If you want to come on and talk about a conspiracy or anything like that, or just tell us a really horrible story, you're more than welcome. We'll keep it going for about another 5 minutes to see if anybody wants to jump on. If not, we will get the hell out of here and quit boring the fuck out of you. How about that?
And we're willing to take beer money.
Yeah, and we'll take beer money too.
Into our Cash App if interested.
Yeah, there is.
Booze for the show.
Look at the scrolling behind. I mean, us sitting here, getting drunk and talking to you is not cheap. So,
I don't turn my tongue blue for me.
Who do you do that for?
You're drinking Mad Dog. That's what it is. I knew it.
Dog.
No judgment. It's a judgment-free zone.
You just reminded me of one of my old favorite Bill Hicks jokes when you're talking about Jesus gave you your sense of humor. You remember that one? I don't know, TF, if you're a fan of Bill Hicks, but he was cracking some jokes in the South, and
Alex Jones.
Some Christians came up to him after the show and said, "Hey, buddy, we don't like what you said," and he said, "Then forgive me." right there.
Exactly, Mr. Duggar. Exactly.
That's why he's our lawyer. He's gone fishing.
Mr. Duggar Fishing, our lawyer. He covers us. He covers us in every way, shape, or form. And form.
He's the legal blood of Jesus that actually
Is Mr. Duggar on Twitter? I might need to follow him in case I do piss
No, he's not on Twitter. You
did just say that. I feel like an idiot for asking. You did just say that. But I do need some contact info because my lawyer, I haven't spoken to him in years. I don't even know if he's still around.
Well, it's a good thing if you haven't spoken. If you haven't had to speak to your lawyer in years, that is a good thing.
Well, it's just a friend of mine that is a lawyer. I've never had a lawyer, but I've known many.
My lawyer threw me off the back of a boat once and left me.
Is that why when you're fishing today?
Oh, no, I was fishing today with my kiddo. We went through the rods and lost one. Don't want to talk about it.
Is this ocean fishing?
No, river fishing. Well, okay. It's salt water. It's well, it's not even brackish, it's salt water. Like Tidal Creek.
Nice.
We have one right around the corner from our house. Like we can literally walk there. But my bike is done. So I have to get a new bike. It's been a long day. You're like, you didn't respond back. I was like, I got problems.
No, I just like I knew you told me you would email me yesterday, so I was just making sure it was going to happen.
Yeah,
You know,
fucked up.
Davey Wavy, Red Pill Cartel.
Oh yeah, I know Davey Wavy.
Yeah, he reached out to me and he's like, dude, my person bailed on me. You want to come on? I said, I'm going on allegedly tonight, but I haven't heard back from Missy, so maybe. And then you
Tell Davey he's welcome to come join us because we put our StreamYard in the chat.
Davey went to bed like 4 hours
Yeah, if
ago.
you got somebody else wants to jump in, I mean,
Davey might need to get out the house more often.
Dusty might be up. I don't know, Missy, if you could tweet him.
No, I've tweeted like a lot of people.
Dusty talks nonstop. That might be opening Pandora's box.
Not really. I have to have a bathroom break at some point.
It gives Missy a run for her money.
A little bit.
can he talk that fast? I mean, is he like Ben Shapiro fast talking?
Oh, he's more Alabama slow, but he does once he gets going. It doesn't matter how fast he's talking; he doesn't stop.
Okay, Alabama slow. I love that.
Yeah, he's long and drawn out, but once you get that motor pulled, it's on.
Alabama slow. Yeah, here we go. Another word from our sponsor.
Wish you could be as annoying as an Alabama fan? Well, now you can with Bama Bragg, the new bubble gum from Tuscaloosa Chew. Open your own pouch of Bama Bragg, pack in a wad, and in no time you'll be spewing irritating nonsense and aggravating statistics just like the rest of the redneck idiots that say Roll Tide when they have nothing else to offer. Maybe your school doesn't have 18 national championships, but now you can parade around like a stuffy jerk just like fans of the Crimson Tide. Bama Bag Bubblegum. It's gumpalicious.
Bama Bragg Bubblegum. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Good old JW.
Might as well just be a Tennessee fan and get it over with.
Have you seen that new? Oh my God, that redneck girl that did that new music video that she's like, it's like about the SEC or something. And have you guys seen that? It's the most horrible thing. I think she runs around with like that Calhoun rapper guy, Adam Calhoun, and
I don't follow SoundCloud rappers.
It's so horrible. She's like in the same sentence rapping. She's like, "Roll Tide, go Vols, SEC." I mean, it's like, and she's from North Carolina, which is funny.
A doorknob in her future.
Missy.
So we do have somebody joining us right now.
Real quick, Colby, before we switch, did you see the South Park about the Worldwide Privacy Tour?
I haven't watched South Park in a long time. I need to.
It's Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Yeah, I saw she was all up in arms about it.
It's fantastic.
Well, everybody be on their best behavior because the lawyer to the stars is here.
Dude, I want you to know, I thought in my head, and I started writing it. I said, it's time for a Dove commercial. I'll be damned if you didn't put that thing on.
Hey, man, yeah.
You should put on the J-Dub commercial. Great minds think alike.
Great minds do think alike.
I just wanted to say, it's real cool seeing you, brother. Missy, charmed again, I'm sure. How are you?
Fantastic. Better than now that you're here, Law Dog.
Yeah, you're breaking up real bad though, Mr. Duggar.
Yeah, a little bit. You're rubber banding a little bit.
Yeah, I'm only here for a second. I'm on West Virginia internet system. So
Law Dog.
You're stealing Joey Foster's internet? Is that what you said?
But no, I think he paid somebody off. I think
Records.
They go. They learning how to abuse us here in New Mexico too. Now, I think you want to talk about a conspiracy? That's a conspiracy. The internet service for New Mexico, along with the grades that our kids get in school. All right.
I love Mr. Duggar.
I love it. I hope it's not for a grade.
Y'all have
We froze.
a wonderful night. I jabbered with this guy all night last night. I let somebody else come up here and play with him. Y'all have a beautiful night. Mr. Duggar loves everybody. Y'all be good.
Take care, buddy.
And everybody loves Mr. Duggar. Mr. Duggar, I love you, my friend. Thanks for being the best goddamn lawyer. Yeah, thanks for being the best damn lawyer this side of the Pacific Ocean.
Thank you, Daddy Lawyer.
Daddy lawyer. Oh. Yeah, I hope Mr. Duggar heard that because he should actually,
I call Elon Space Daddy.
Yeah, Daddy lawyer. He should like save that as like a soundbite for his show,
Just thank you, Daddy Lawyer, right?
Thank you, Daddy lawyer.
There you go.
Everybody would love to have that one. Vince, not Vince, Colby, Vince. I was looking at my screen. Colby, what do you think about like what we're trying to do here? You think this could turn into something fun?
Oh, for
Talk
sure.
about conspiracies, tell bad jokes, make it comedy based, and just try to have a good time.
I think it already is turned into something fun. It just needs to catch on. I mean, you guys are fresh. This is green still, and I think that a lot of people are already catching on to it. So keep it up. I think within like a few months, you're going to have quite an audience.
I mean, it's kind of like the goal is to be like coast to coast, but funny.
Right. I like that goal.
You know what I mean? Like have a good time.
Coast to coast could use some funny. So I think
Well,
you're going to fill that niche.
Because we want it to be fun. That's exactly like our model of like the way we're formatting ourselves is to be like coast to coast, but funny and fun.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Canadian dude that just called in tonight. Like, that's cool. That was kind of a unique thing to get.
Oh yeah, and I'm like coast to coast. I grew up on coast to coast. Well, Art Bell, George Norrie fucked it all up.
See, and I started when he took over, so I really need to go back and listen to the old episodes.
Oh man, the old Art Bells. Oh my God, I remember trying to tune in.
But my mother got sick with cancer again, so I canceled it because I had like a freak out.
I remember having to like try to tune in AM radio.
Never got back to me, which is fine.
But yeah, you used to only be able to catch coast to coast on AM. And I remember trying to you'd find it'd be coming out of Chicago, and then all of a sudden you'd lose that one. You'd have to roll over here and be coming out of like Philadelphia, and you'd have to roll over here. And next thing I'm catching the stream from, and you'd be turning your old radio, AM radio, just to listen to Art Bell.
Tune in Tokyo is what we call it.
Right, tune in Tokyo. Do you? No, SO, not Space Ghost, coast to coast, but I did love Space Ghost. Well, it was Zorak, wasn't it? What is Zorak that was like his sidekick? That was
the
awesome.
ultimate tune in Tokyo.
Oh, was he like a praying mantis or something?
Right, yeah, he was a praying Zorak, the praying mantis. Remember when he was like going to go mate? He was wanting to go mate, and have the thing of Space Ghost is like, ooh.
You're gonna lose your head, buddy.
Yeah, we better talk about this first. Space Ghost, coast to coast. That was awesome. I love that shit. That was too much fun. Well, listen, guys, you want to wrap it up? I don't think we got anybody else wanting to call in, so maybe we should quit while we're behind.
It's better than quitting while you have a head.
Right, exactly. Just ask Zorak. Yeah, exactly. Just ask Zorak. But yeah, Colby, thank you so much for coming on with us, man. You are welcome here anytime, dude. Anytime you want to come back on, Please tell these wonderful people. I'm going to drop
the internet first, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Teach your mom how to use the internet, and your brother, and all that jazz.
Well, you guys just taught me tonight, so I can pass it on.
Well, listen, I'm dropping your link right now into this chat, but let everybody else know where to find you. Here is Colby's YouTube link. So make sure you do sub up Conspiracy Playtime on YouTube. But as well, Colby, where else do they find you? I did put your Twitter link in the description of the video.
Awesome. Yeah, you can find me at that Twitter link. I'm not really there these days. I don't use it as much as I used to, but for the other show, Disinfobation, that's mainly on Rumble and Spotify is where you're going to find that, and some of the other
what's your Twitter
platforms. Twitter is at conspiracy_play, And it used to be way cooler. It was Conspiracy Player, but Elon Musk took that one from me. I'll never forgive him. Disinfobation's on Rumble, but Rumble's kind of a growing thing. I suggest people go check it out because shows like this, they're not going to last that long on YouTube. And I hope you guys do. There's some hot button issues that you might hit at certain points, but
TF always pulls me aside and gives me a speech afterwards. He's like, don't say that again.
Have you guys seen
I'm so sorry.
have you seen Confessions of a Dangerous Mind about what's his name, Chuck Barris, that used to do the Gong Show?
The Gong Show? Oh yeah, Gong.
So they made the movie where he's supposedly a CIA assassin based on his unauthorized autobiography. But there's a scene where the FBI guy comes into the show and he's like, "You don't say shit, you don't say cunt, you never say ass," and he's just telling them the words they can't say on TV. We need someone like that for Missy.
I try to be that person.
Queen, because Jim Morrison copied my whole concept of coming on the Ed Sullivan Show and just saying whatever the fuck you want.
I try to be that person with Colby. I try to be that person with Missy, like here on YouTube. It's like we've had a thing on that. Okay, Missy. All right, these are the words that we cannot say. And actually, like having worked in doing radio stuff before, and so it's really hard to go and have to stick to these certain. You're not allowed to cuss. You're not allowed, and it really messes you up when you start doing streams like this on YouTube or something, and you have to go back and try to separate your mind. Okay, wait a minute. It's like you're talking to your grandmother. That's how you have to put it. It's like, okay, wait, I'm talking to Nana. I'm talking to Nana.
You need to meet my grandma.
Bring her in. You got to teach her how to use StreamYard, though, because clearly we got some issues. Vince in the Bay. So glad. I love him.
Thanks for being here, Vince. And I do love your show, Vince. And I don't know what else you do, but I would love to. I'd love to know more because I'm sure you're doing something else besides Twitter Spaces.
They're having radio guy sessions right now. They both love to radio things.
Well, I don't know anything about Vince, but I guarantee anybody like Vince who is doing a Twitter space and doing it that well and making an actual game show, he's doing something else professionally besides this. And I would love to know what it is because I'd like to follow you there. So, let me know on Twitter. I think you follow our Twitter page.
Colby, I think that you and I both over the last couple of years, we found ourselves surrounded by extremely talented, extremely intelligent people, that no one knows about. Right? Am I right in saying so?
Yes. I actually feel inclined to check out that. What's it called? What's his show? Who's This? What's That? It's on Sunday nights at 10 p.m.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
Eastern Standard Time, but he's probably going to be late like us every time.
Yeah, it's Who's This? What's That on Vince in the Bay's Twitter channel every Twitter space every Sunday night at 10 o'clock, right, Missy?
10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless he gets kooky, which is almost always because there's always a basketball game or something going on he's got to look at first. So it's always actually technically 10:10. And
so it's very much like our show to where we say we're going to start at 11, but more than likely 11:15 we will be on live. So
hey, they were on time tonight, everybody. It was me who made them late. So
that's true. That's actually true. We tried so hard. We're like, we got a guest. It's important.
I didn't have my shit together.
Yeah, for the first time ever, God damn it, Colby. For the first time ever, Missy was ready to go, and I was ready to go as well. And it was like, well, hey, at least it works. We're staying consistent. We're staying consistent.
That's what it was. I helped you guys stay consistent. You're welcome.
You gotta have goals, man.
Well, Colby, thanks so much for being here.
Hey,
we'll chat in the back room. Yeah, don't leave. We'll chat in the back room for a second after the show.
We gotta watch the Twitter phone real quick.
And so everybody, make sure you do follow Colby Conspiracy _playtime on Twitter, and I dropped the link right above.
No time. Just Conspiracy _play on the Twitter. Which
okay.
I don't really care about that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, great. But the YouTube and the website, those are where you find those juicy episodes of ours.
Yeah, there you go. How about you, Missy? You got any stuff you want to plug, Missy? You got any stuff you want to plug, Missy?
Just the comedy show on Sunday nights. And again, follow me on Twitter because I do a lot of crazy spaces. The micro penis support group is always rocking in the middle of the night.
That's a club I belong in for sure.
And if you go to the description of this video right below, it will give you the link to Missy's Twitter and her YouTube page. So make sure you do follow those as well. Yeah, and jump right into her DMs.
I'm not at all particular.
Exactly, and you know,
so it's out of control.
And I don't know if anybody, you can follow our main page too, Traveling Fools, Travel and Fish on Twitter and YouTube, Traveling Fools. You can find us. It's pretty easy. LW subbed you up. Look at that. LW is cool.
Thank you, LW.
Vince is following. I'm following you, Colby. Look at that.
That's a big fish right there.
There you go.
Vince, we got to have a very special episode of W2WT one time where we just do conspiracy photos and get people to say conspiracy stuff because that would be a fun evening.
Yeah. Hey, bring Vince on here one night. We could do it. We could do like a conspiracy theory. Yeah, we could do that anytime. It'd be fun.
Would love to.
It'd be a really good idea. Get up with the Vince.
Oh, Mr. Duggar's like, so.
Yeah.
I've got a lawyer.
Yeah. You have a lawyer now, and you know he works for cheap. He's pro bono.
Pro boner.
Or bono, something. I'm not exactly sure exactly how it goes.
As long as we're not talking about the singer from U2, I'm all for it.
1% of that was donated. So
with or without you. All right, guys. Let's get the hell out of here. Everybody. I don't know. Bye. Another episode in the books. It's been really fun. Thanks a lot for Colby joining us. Frantic, Missy, as always, looking beautiful as ever. And I'm Traveling Fools, and we're going to get the hell out of here. We appreciate you coming in. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. We love you very much.